easier it is to sell souls.
There is a new price on freedom, so buy into it while supplies last. Changes need to be made. No more curbside baggage. 7 p.m. curfew. Racial profiling will continue with less bitching. We've unified over who to kill, so until I find more relevant scripture to quote, remember, our God is bigger, stronger, smarter, and much wealthier. So wave those flags with pride, especially the white part.
We're selling addictive 24-hour candlelight vigils in TVs. Freedom will be defended at the cost of civil liberties. The viewers are glued to television screens, stuck, cause lots of things seem too sick. I use opportunities to pluck heartstrings for theme music. I show you which culture to pump your footing.
All right, welcome to the Grift on the river now.
I'm Gonzo.
It has been a week and another week. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You went to the protest and we're tired and we're having AC problems.
Yeah, it just spontaneously started working again on Monday night.
Nice. That's cool.
It was good because it got up to almost 90 degrees in here, even with the windows open.
God.
Even when it was 68 degrees outside.
And it was 90.
And it was just.
You have a lot of sun directly coming.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
perfectly east facing with no obstructions or shade of any kind.
Fair. Meanwhile, for me, I had a late night because Lee and I discovered some blondes. So.
All right.
that went. Good night.
But we're back, and nothing stupid happened while we were gone.
We almost had the absolute funniest thing in human history happen.
I cannot imagine a more hilarious possible death for anyone, let alone the potentially the death of the Vice President of the United States of America in the dumbest, most self-inflicted way possible.
Yeah, for those who missed it, the Trump administration wanted to set up this shelling and missile exercise where they fired over California into a base. Okay,
as you do,
as one apparently does.
We got to show off these missiles somehow.
And artillery rounds, and now there's some speculation that it was basically to stop traffic on the freeway.
Well, that's the thing. They didn't want the road closed.
Which is
Newsom
weird.
was like, "We're closing the fucking road.
Yeah.
You're not doing this." And it's a good thing he did.
Yes.
Because somebody would have been killed.
Yeah. Five of the artillery shells that were supposed to land and blew up in midair over the highway and parts of California.
Over I-5.
Yeah.
Which is the main north-south highway through California there.
And struck a trooper vehicle that was part of J.D. Vance's security detail.
If it had happened, I'd still be laughing. I would not have been able to stop.
No,
since Sunday when it would have happened.
I would be. I mean, there's no.
And then our fearless leader decided to distract us from almost killing the vice president by knocking down half the White House.
Right. Yeah. So
with no asbestos mitigation of any kind, they are just. I look forward to seeing what the rates of mesothelioma are.
And we know there's got to be lead paint in 10 years.
Oh,
somewhere.
Yeah. The movie theater itself was put in 42.
Yeah.
Gone.
That whole section of the White House that he's tearing open was put in the 40s and 50s. It's stupid.
It's all asbestos and lead paint.
Just thank you. The water table in D.C. has never been better.
The fact that they had to destroy the entrance to the bunker, the end of the world bunker under the goddamn White House.
Now, the best part of that whole thing is that, one, there's no congressional approval for any of this.
No.
They're just doing it.
Right.
And two, they lied to us. They said that they were just going to, remove part of the facade.
Well, first they said there would be no change to the White House at all.
None.
It wouldn't be touched. The ballroom, the 90,000 square foot ballroom that's 45,000 square feet bigger than the entirety of the White House used to be.
Right. This is stupid.
And I don't have any real emotional attachment to the White House as a thing. It doesn't mean a lot to me. But
no, but I'm a bit of a history buff.
I'm a history. I like the history of it. But symbolically,
Right.
the idea that a president would just destroy part of the White House without any approval, without saying anything, he doesn't own it. Like,
Right.
the president doesn't own the White House.
Yeah, it's we, you, I, the people
The American taxpayers
own
the White House.
And
And the East Wing in particular was administered by the National Park Service.
yeah, we currently have an administration, a government that acts like it owns us. Like that's
We own it.
yeah. And I blame decades and decades of acquiescence to power,
Yeah.
right?
That really ramped up in 2001.
Yeah.
And 2002.
And Trump is just the metastasized cancer of that authoritarian lean that we have.
He is a living tumor, yes.
Yeah, that acquiescence to power and authority that we have allowed within our system for all of this time. And like, look, there are times we have to acquiesce power. We do not.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have. There are limits on what you get to do in your daily life just so other people cannot die.
Right.
Like,
And-
that's really what it comes down to. We have to have a functioning society, or people will unnecessarily die.
Yes. And there are.
So we do what we have to do. You give up a little bit here, a little bit there. But in general, in your daily life, you should be free to do whatever you want to do with whoever you want to do it, whenever you want to do it, wherever you want to do it.
Yeah.
As long as you're not hurting anybody else.
That should be what we have. We're not particularly good at that.
No.
No. And the more we acquiesce that power, the more we give it up, the more
And-
you get eventually to where we're at.
And it's frustrating to have been somebody who brought all this up before the Patriot Act was even passed.
Yeah,
Like being someone who's like, please, guys, this is bad. And they're like, shut up. You hate America. It's like, I actually no.
no,
I have a lot of problems with American foreign policy, and I have a lot of problems with federal policy towards specific groups historically, but I don't.
But that's as American as it comes. Like,
Yeah.
we are a nation that founded itself in a revolution based on liberty. The individuals, the framers, founders, however you want to call them, were not omniscient, prescient men who saw all futures. They were not.
They were mostly children.
Right.
You had a lot of 19, 20-year-olds writing our founding documents.
In a lot of ways, they were a reassertion of the powerful and the elites, right? Back over the system,
Yeah.
right? You know, that for the most part, that's what they were. But the thing that they recognized was that the entire nation, because the revolution started without them, not a one of the framers is the cause of the revolution, right? It already was happening.
Yeah.
Right? They just took hold of it.
They used it to their advantage.
Right.
They
And-
saw what was coming,
And made a nation.
and yeah.
But that's just it. The energy of our country, the most fundamentally American thing that the people were pushing for, was a maximalist form of liberty and freedom.
Yeah.
Right. In a liberal type of way, classically liberal. Right.
Yeah.
And you can read it throughout our Constitution. It is all over there. It's a limiting
I mean, you look
document
at it,
and
yeah.
an empowering document at the same time.
You look at the Bill of Rights, and it is just one point after another. Like, the government can't do this to you. 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 The government must allow you to do this.
Yes.
Like, it is all about the limits on the government's power to control your personal lives.
And the rest of the document creates the empowerment of what the government can do.
Right.
So it says, here's what you can do. And to be very sure, because we're going to be a little vague here, because obviously we're just starting this thing, right? So we're going to be a bit vague, but here's what you can do. And here's a list of shit you definitely cannot do, right? So you can't do anything we didn't say you can do. And you definitely can't do these things.
Right.
That is what we created. We didn't, and we have allowed, basically since our inception, to go beyond it. I mean, you know.
It started with the Whiskey Rebellion.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
right, like day one almost.
Yeah. Actually, we didn't even have the Constitution done yet.
Yeah.
Or at least Shays Rebellion we
Shays
didn't have.
Rebellion, yeah.
Yeah, the Whiskey Rebellion we did. Right? But
Yeah, that's
before-
when we got our first standing army. Like,
Yeah.
3 weeks in.
Yep. And Shea wasn't a bad guy. He was just a guy who, was promised certain things, fought a revolution, didn't like the system that was now being imposed, and said no. And other farmers and other guys who had fought in the revolution were also like, no.
No.
We've gone through these periods of it too, post-Civil War, Union soldiers were again fighting for their rights and liberties that we had denied some of them. The revolution, the Civil War itself was all about a certain type of liberty.
Yeah.
Right. And an establishment of, what are the limits of the authoritarian state of the South, which, I guess is going to be a part of our topic later in the episode. Yeah. And then after World War I, you get, the bonus army. Our government is constantly failing to live up to what it's supposed to, and we are constantly having to push back.
Right, and that is what you're seeing now. We are pushing back, and that is a good thing that you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to just be a little bootlicking bitch.
Yeah, no. The most American thing
You're not supposed to cram the boot so far down your throat you can kick fuck your own epiglottis.
Right?
That's not how this works, America. You fucking cowards. You simpering shits.
We have so many problems, from our propaganda, our mythology, to the comfort that we all have, that makes it, it makes it genuinely difficult to do something, because, we are rapidly approaching this situation where we don't recognize our government anymore, right?
Yeah.
And it's going far beyond what we even feared.
You've got election deniers buying the largest voting machine company in the nation.
Yeah.
Because Dominion was just bought by a 2020 was stolen lunatic. That's cool.
Yeah, and you got
that's good.
Donald Trump already prepping for a quote unquote bad midterm, while also basically laying some groundwork for denialism of whatever the midterm election results are. Like, you get a series of these things, and the government is doing things that we never thought it would. Right? Like disappearing fucking people, detaining over 140 U.S. citizens.
How about the
by ICE?
Yeah, the fucking immigrations agents storming fucking Canal Street in New York and overturning like vendor tables to enforce city ordinances.
Yeah,
that the city's not asking them to enforce, because that's basically what they were doing.
Right.
Like setting up a table and illegally selling shit is a city ordinance.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with immigration. It's not
and it's the sort of thing where it's
not
like,
even a law. It's an ordinance.
If the city decides to do something to you, they're going to show up and be like, if you don't take this table down, we're going to write you a fine.
Yeah, and Canal Street is one of those areas in New York that like
it's just got that shit all the time.
Yeah,
they've given up trying to not have it there.
Right, and again,
is part of the city,
because we believe in at least I believe in maximizing freedom. I think that areas and segments of your city that like we don't give a shit about, like the licensing of vendor tables and things like that, is a good thing.
And like I'm not really worried about the dangers of someone selling a knockoff Labubu.
Yeah,
for $8 instead of 40.
Right? Like, who cares?
Like, I don't care. Like, oh no, they're selling fake Gucci bags. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Good for them.
Gucci bags are grotesquely overpriced nonsense anyway. Fuck them.
Yeah, it's
not like Gucci's hurting.
Right. No, the knockoffs. Like, the funny thing is, like, the knockoffs are, they're definitely not as high quality. I'll give them that.
Although very often the knockoffs are made in the same factories in China.
There's that.
Certain brands, certain specific Italian brands.
Yes.
They are made in the same exact factories in China.
But, it's like, okay, somebody wants to buy a cheap knockoff that's lower quality. No big deal. The people who want a Gucci bag, who actually are going to ever buy a Gucci bag,
are just going to go buy a Gucci bag.
Yeah, they're not
buying a knockoff.
They're never going to be dissuaded because they bought the knockoff, right? Like, every once in a while you'll get that like middle class, white woman who's like, yeah, I'll buy one real thing and a couple of knockoffs because
we used to have,
but they can't afford them.
We used to have one of those as a regular at the bar. She would buy knockoff bags and try to pass them off as real. Give him his gifts.
Yes, she did.
Give him his gifts. This is a real Gucci bag.
She did Coach with my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. My ex discovered it wasn't Coach at a Coach store and felt really dejected because she had been given as a meaningful gift.
I was not disappointed when she flounced and announced she was never coming back.
Yeah.
And very often we have people flounce and announce they're never coming back. And then like 3 months later, there they are again. Not her. And that makes me so happy. She sucked.
She did.
So much. She only drank kombucha. She didn't fucking tip. She complained about literally goddamn everything every single day.
She was the loudest white woman from Staten Island you'll ever meet.
I remember another one of our regulars once was set up on a date with her, and he's just like, yeah, those tits are not worth it. Never again.
That's
they
amazing.
Didn't speak again after that.
No, they didn't. You're right.
He just did not speak to her because it was such a miserable experience. Those tits aren't worth it.
Man, I don't miss her.
No. Apparently neither do her children. from what I've heard.
That tracks. The sentient thumb still hasn't left, even though he made his announcement that he was leaving.
I'm a SoundCloud rapper.
He's like this. I think he's in his late 40s. If not, life has been hard to him.
Life has been very hard to him if he's not at least my age.
Yeah, and he looks like a sentient thumb, and he's like, what if your oil change technician that lived behind the oil change shop was also a SoundCloud rapper, and he was trying to convince all the girls that he ever meets to come back.
I'm gonna be famous someday.
To his place. It's gross. It's weird, and he's like,
so
watching him hit on the staff is just. It's a sight. He has no game. It's great.
No, it's.
You want to come back to my by the week motel? No, I do not, sir.
I mean, where does a guy like him live now that the Mosley's gone?
I don't know.
Oh, the Mosley. I miss the diner that was right next to the Mosley, because that was like the best people watching in the city for a while. You'd sit in the diner, you'd sit in the booth, you had a great view of like everything going on in the Mosley, and the McDonald's across the street, which is just mostly used for people picking up tricks.
Yeah.
So you just watch people doing their thing,
right?
Picking up tricks.
God.
And the food was pretty good. Not once that any of the times we went did they ever bring me my soup.
Oh,
not a single goddamn time did they bring me my soup.
I was hearing that story just the other day.
I forgot about that.
It became a joke that you never get your soup.
I never got my goddamn soup. Not a single time.
Oh, man. All right, so the U.S. sanctioned Russian oil measures over Ukraine. India and China, their economies are taking a dive because of the sanctions, because they do a lot of business with them.
Cool.
It is weird. We're waffling back and forth on Ukraine. Like, Zelensky got solicited a promise to sell some missiles, right, from Trump. And then Trump called Putin, who said it was a bad idea. And then Trump announced that it was a bad idea after his conversation with Putin. Like, yeah, I'm sure that Vladimir Putin doesn't like the idea of us selling them
he's like,
good missiles.
I don't want to give them Tomahawk missiles because it would take them 9 months to learn how to use them, and that's too much time. What's the point? Well, I mean, if you'd have given them to them day one,
we would be on.
They would have learned how to use them by now.
Yeah, we're on month 10.
You cowardly, degenerate, child fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, and God, I am never gonna not point out that he's a child fucker.
No, I mean it's weird to know with absolute certainty that the president has raped children.
Yes,
because that's what our president has done. Our president has raped children.
Graped, as you will, internet, so we don't get. I don't know. We're not monetized anyway. So
we're on YouTube. That's the thing. That is only a problem on the TikTok.
Yeah.
We can say whatever we want here. And honestly, if we don't use profanity within the first 30 seconds, if we were monetized, we wouldn't lose it no matter what we said.
We got to be careful because we use profanity in the first 30 seconds.
Hey, look, I will worry about that when we get over 1,000 subs, and we can think about monetizing, because we are not at 1,000 subs.
No, we're not.
I think we're at 134.
That is your fault, people out there in the world.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe so you get more of this quality fucking content.
Like, share, and subscribe.
So,
It says it right there down the bottom.
Can you fucking read?
Like and subscribe.
But, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. To couch it in legally terms, so if they ever do decide to sue us, like, I firmly believe with absolute certainty that Donald Trump has raped children because there are a preponderance of evidence that suggests that is true.
I am positive with absolute certainty that more children can describe his penis than children could describe Michael Jackson's penis.
That's what I believe. Like, and the preponderance of evidence suggests that to be true, right? Now, do I know with absolute certainty that I can prove that? No. But if we could, he would be in jail, not president.
Do I believe there are materials in the FBI's possession that would absolutely prove that?
Yes, I
without
do.
a doubt.
Watching
Without a
Pam Bondi and Cash Patel evade those questions,
just knowing about the amount of like internal surveillance footage Epstein had in his home.
Yeah, now that we know that, I didn't know about that until fairly recently.
Oh yeah, I actually remember learning about that right when he was arrested and right after he died.
You know,
it was never really talked about a lot. It was always just sort of mentioned in passing that he had cameras everywhere.
Yeah, and now that creates a smaller potential list because, like, the individuals that went on the plane, a bunch, okay, that's one group, right? But he lent his plane out a lot, right? And he flew people around a lot. But you take that group, and then from that, you set that aside, and you go, okay, who's been to his house?
You know
for something other than a fundraiser?
You know what's interesting to me? I don't ever remember hearing anything about any materials found on the island.
No, actually.
Like, I have heard stuff about, like, things that were found in the safe in his Manhattan brownstone.
Yeah.
But I have never heard anything about what was seized as evidence on the island.
That is weird.
Like, not a single detail.
I'm gonna have to look into that
has ever come up because I don't
see if any of it's from the cases. Because there have been some cases. So, like, speaking of cases, do you think Maxwell's getting pardoned?
I think he will give her clemency.
Okay.
And not a full pardon.
Interesting.
And I think it'll be like, we didn't pardon her. She just didn't deserve to be in prison.
Speaking of clemency and such, George Santos. That happened since we recorded Lost.
Has to flee New York for his safety because Mom Donnie is going to be mayor, and that puts his life at risk.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
You know what might put your life at risk, George? Defrauding veterans.
Yeah. You defrauded disabled veterans. And that's one of the reasons that you went to jail.
People don't like that. And a lot of the people who don't like that are armed.
And now, what that tells me, again, it's the cycle of Donald Trump, right? Is that you can tell that there is a loud amount of lawlessness for him, his supporters, his allies, and people he likes.
He did pardon the CEO of Binance today.
Yes, that was the next one I wanted to point out. Who that guy's family has been helping the Trump family expand their crypto footprint and fortunes. So his family has been helping the Trump family make money off of crypto.
And, all he did to get himself arrested and prosecuted was help drug cartels launder money.
Yeah. And committed he was just dumb, too. He created a paper trail.
Yeah, he was not good at it.
Yeah.
I think here's the problem with crypto bros. They're dumb and they leave paper trails because they think it being crypto is enough to cover their trails.
I think that's probably true.
But they'll write down everything they're doing, and even
And
though
send texts. Are we screwed?
Yeah.
Should we get lawyers?
Yeah.
Like,
And
maybe
even-
we should
and
lie
even though,
about
like,
this.
Technically, like on the blockchain, yeah, sure, it's opaque.
But if you can put 2 and 2 together as to where that money went, like if you've got a deposit from
And
and
if
a withdrawal from on 2 ends of
And
the
if
spectrum,
you've got someone's device
right?
and you can get into their wallet, you know what's in there and what other wallets it came from.
Yeah,
Like this is not.
you know, at first this stuff was much better for all of that criminal bullshit because it was entirely done through crypto keys, through having fucking hard drives and or flash drives, right? Like, you know, you had to take steps
Yeah.
to get the money moved, right?
Yeah, you would have like your Bitcoin on like a thumb drive.
Yeah.
Like
And-
an encrypted thumb drive that you like had to like put into a physical like wallet device to access it.
Then you had to have your own, you
Yeah.
had to know your pass key or whatever, right? You had to actually be tech savvy, right? And then you had to take steps to move the money from point A to point B
Yeah.
off and on the blockchain, right? You had to take those steps. It wasn't just like, oh, this is an investment vehicle, and look, you have it in your Robinhood account,
Yeah.
right? Now you have, it's all fucking on your goddamn device.
Speaking
You
of
made it real money.
speaking
You-
of-
like not real money, but you made it like a real credit card.
You made it traceable.
Yeah.
You took the one thing that you had going for it and you
Right.
did away with it to make it more popular because you had to, because normal people couldn't adopt it otherwise.
Yeah,
Like it's
because it was only useful for, well, I mean, drug money, and human trafficking. Like, you know, that's
a lot of that's how a guy like Ian Watkins
kitty
ends
porn.
up with 27 terabytes of CP.
yeah.
Now I did some math. Do you know how many JPEGs 27 terabytes represents?
No.
It is 578,000 JPEGs. It also represents 1080p video. How many hours of 1080p video do you think 27 terabytes is? Take a guess.
300.
13,500 hours.
Jesus Christ.
521 days.
That is a lot.
That is a lot. Like
That
this
is a
the sort
lot
thing
of
that's
underage porn.
That is the other things was like I'm like, I have a hard time actually like accepting that much exists to have. Like you think about the amount, like and the overwhelming majority of like CP that people trade, they're not the ones making. Like
Right now, it's being traded on a network of guys like, oh, I've got this. Oh, well, I got a hold of this. And it's all in this dirty little black market happening in places. And like, shit, we got a call because somebody, and I've been on the lookout for it, but it hasn't popped up since, but somebody used our Wi-Fi, like, to talk to another collector over Snapchat.
Oh.
Yeah, this was a couple months back, and I got a call from a detective, and I was like,
This is why we have a splash page.
yeah, and
Was that the time when we had to like ban a couple of people from the Wi-Fi?
that
was that something different?
That was something different, but a similar vein. Unfortunately, the law enforcement didn't get a hold of it until like months later, and so I couldn't get that. It was outside of our camera range for storage, so I couldn't help. I don't believe it was one of our regulars because it only happened.
Well, no, I mean,
the one-
I'm sure somebody came in, I asked for the password, was given the
Yep.
password, logged
Sat,
in,
got
sat
a
down.
coffee, and did their thing.
Yeah.
But that's like, yeah. So I, get a little snippet. Yeah, they find each other over Snapchat after they find each other in a boardroom, and then they
a lot
or
of
at a board.
Yeah, Telegram.
Yep.
They use Telegram a lot. They use
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. I couldn't remember its name.
Yeah, WhatsApp. Like,
It's
all the scammers try to get, like, every time I get like a random message from somebody, I'm like, hey, yeah, okay, I respond.
Here's something we don't talk
And then
about.
like 30 seconds later, they're like, let's get a WhatsApp. I'm like, oh, yep, you're a scammer trying to get me.
Here's something we don't talk. They use a lot of just straight up private Facebook groups,
Yes. Yeah, they do.
and they get away with it.
Yeah.
They get away with it.
They set the settings to private. They don't generally, from what I know,
They don't like publicly trade on the board.
it's
like
just how they find each other.
Right. How they coordinate, and then they do it privately.
There's a whole.
I did find out.
I try not to know too much about this stuff, to be honest.
If you want to like to learn some fascinating tech, look into like how they record like the hash information for known materials,
okay,
so that it can be instantly detected on any service.
Interesting. I'll check that out.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
That's why there's this one JPEG that if it's just it looks like it's just an innocuous screenshot. But because it is part of a video.
Okay.
If you share it on Discord, you are immediately permanently banned, and the FBI is contacted.
Interesting.
Yeah. So don't share that one image.
I couldn't even tell you what that one image is.
It's like
here's the thing.
It's like
I do not try to know anything about this world.
It's like a screenshot of somebody sitting at a computer.
Yeah,
like
fair.
it's just somebody sitting at like a webcam.
That's fair.
But it's a screenshot from known material that's part of that hash file that they update regularly. I hope they're still updating, because here's the thing. The people who would normally do that at the FBI are now doing immigration enforcement. Yeah,
we have retasked it. Our government is not doing anything to keep us actually safe, because everything is stupid.
The next, we're actually quite lucky there hasn't been a terrorist attack this year.
Yeah.
Although, you know what? If the FBI had been functional, we would not have had Charlie Kirk assassinated.
Yeah, probably not.
There was enough chatter online, assuming Mossad didn't do it.
Oh, so the shooting at the school that happened the same day.
Oh, yeah, that kid.
Yeah, we talked about this 2 weeks ago. Yeah, like if the FBI had been actually functional and doing its things, that kid was known to law enforcement. He was on the FBI's radar, and they just didn't have the manpower or whatever.
Well, they were busy harassing farm workers.
Yeah.
Standing outside of a Lowe's looking for day laborers.
Speaking of law enforcement, and as we talked about, ByteDance helping, not ByteDance, Binance helping launder. So similar.
Different
right.
Chinese guy.
But Binance helping, cartels launder money. We are not doing anything to actually address the drug problem in the United States.
Oh, hey.
What we are doing...
We're murdering civilians in boats.
Murdering civilians in boats that we don't even have the evidence to prosecute. We had 2 survivors from one of our latest strikes.
Yeah.
2. And it's almost certainly just a fishing boat. We had 2 survivors. We picked them up. The same day, interestingly, the admiral in charge of SOCOM resigned.
Yeah.
Right after that had happened. So I have a feeling those things are tied somehow.
He might have had some integrity there.
Yeah, or he might have gotten demanded that he resigned after saving the lives.
Saving the lives, and how dare you?
But once we brought them in, we had nothing.
We immediately repatriated them to their home countries.
Yeah,
without doing anything else.
Nothing.
These dangerous fentanyl trafficking drug cartel members, terrorists that we have to summarily execute, we just sent home.
Yeah. So it was
no prosecution, no arrest,
that
no indictment.
Egregious that we had to murder them.
And we just murdered a fishing boat, a Colombian fishing boat in the Pacific.
Yep. And
that was like yesterday or today.
It was yesterday.
It all blurs together.
It was way too far to go doing anything.
Yeah.
It could have made it to Mexico. That's where it could have gotten. Not the United States.
And that would have been, if they were fentanyl trafficking narco terrorists, that would have been Mexico's problem, not ours.
Yeah, also, we have law enforcement partnerships and military partnerships with Mexico, right?
To deal with these things.
So if we knew that boat was going, we could have just watched it.
Yeah.
Right? We could have kept an eye on it.
We could have informed the Mexican authorities.
Yeah.
And watch out for this when it lands. Seize this ship when it lands.
Yeah, search
this is where it's going to dock. Yeah, search it.
Search it. That's all you got to do. Seize it and search it. And if it leaves Mexico, because we got an eye on it, we can still keep an eye on it. We got satellites, right? Keep an eye on it. And if it starts heading back our way, again, it leaves Mexico. It fuels up in Mexico.
You send out the Coast Guard to intercept it.
Right.
Like, that's what the Coast Guard is for.
And then we bust them. We arrest them.
And then you get to make an example of them at trial. It's like, this is what happens to you if we catch you doing this.
You could also get intelligence and information and potentially information to prosecute
Higher up.
people who are higher up after catching them.
Because if you are catching drug runners on a boat, they are low level.
Yeah.
They're probably mostly people who are like, a lot of them probably aren't people who want to be in the drug trade.
Right.
It's a lot of like, hey, put this on your boat and don't ask any questions.
Yeah. Now, the ones that are on a boat that is actually coming from all the way down there, that's going to be eventually getting to the U.S., they're probably not incredibly low on the food chain either. They're not going to be high, right? But they're only
mid-tier, lower mid-tier.
They're going to be a couple steps away from somebody important.
They're going to be people who are trusted enough to do the job, but like they still have to do boat duty. Yeah,
because cartels prefer mules that don't matter, right?
Yeah.
Like, get Americans to,
it's like,
willingly or unwillingly or knowingly or unknowingly carry it across the border with them.
If every one of those boats that we've blown up was actually like drug trafficking cartel boats, cartels don't give a shit.
Yeah, no.
We killed people the cartels don't care about. We put a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent of a dent in their trade.
Yeah, and again, the cost of cocaine, pure cocaine in the United States is at the lowest it has ever been.
As low as $60 a gram for like 100% pure.
Because our customs enforcement is so bad right now. The FBI isn't doing its job. The DEA is also having people retasked to immigration enforcement, right? So you've got people who are keeping an eye out for this stuff and tracking intel.
That was their job. That was their expertise.
Right. They're reassigned to other bullshit. Okay, you get them taken off. So there's a gap there. Our border enforcement is actually kind of abysmal right now because we're again sending agents to cities, not the border.
Yeah, and we're sending agents to cities that are not within 100 miles of the border either. Which,
well, you see, therein lies where it gets weird and sticky with that. Is that the Great Lakes count as a border, and the coastlines count as borders.
Florida is entirely border.
Yeah, Florida is entirely border.
The entirety of the state of Florida is within CPB jurisdiction.
70% of California's population exists within their border
almost
zone.
Every city, every major city except for Chicago is coastal.
Yeah.
Austin's not.
San Francisco is not, or not San Francisco, Sacramento, but it's not a major city, but it's their state capital. Like,
most people forget Sacramento exists.
Yes, but it has
I have a feeling people who live in Sacramento forget Sacramento exists.
But Sacramento is like the only city, like real city, except for like Palm Springs, outside of in California, that's outside of the ice zone. Right?
Palm Springs is barely a city.
Yeah.
Too. So.
And then Chicago technically counts as a border city because it's on Lake Michigan. Stupid as all of that is, that is the United States government utilizing, again, legalism to take authorities and powers it shouldn't and expanding them, and us spending decades going, well, I mean, it's for this and it's for that and it's for safety and it's for security and
not me.
Of course, and until eventually they start acting as a Gestapo with their weapons budget going up 700%. And they're buying missiles and explosives. Why are they buying missiles and explosives for border patrol?
I need someone to explain to me why harassing farm workers involves fucking RPGs.
But you know what does make a lot more sense? The fact that they have bought a massive amount of crowd control chemical weapons, aka tear gas, pepper balls, pepper spray, bear spray, mace, right? They have bought a ton of that.
Priests aren't just going to shoot themselves in the face with a pepper ball.
Right. But they're purchasing enough to subdue a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? That's worrisome. And it should worry us. Because
you should resist them by any means you see fit. Whatever you feel like doing.
Yeah, we are getting into this period where we all wake up every day and go about our day.
Mm-hmm.
And every day the news is a little bit crazier than it was the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And every day the government has done something it shouldn't have done. And you get prosecutors coming out and saying that they resigned in the Abrego Garcia case because they were told to lie about his affiliation with MS-13. Told to lie, right? You have a whole room full of U.S. prosecutors going on the record anonymously, but like a bunch of them saying, yes, we were told that we might have to lie and we might have to ignore court orders or find creative ways to ignore the courts.
No.
Like, this is where we're at while Stephen Miller is talking about the plenary authority of the president, which the word plenary means something, and that's why that's troubling.
If you still support this at this point, you should probably just off yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you don't have any other way out. Like, at this point, if you are still today actively engaged in the whitewashing of what this administration is doing and an apologia for it, there's no saving you.
Right.
You have one path to honor.
What amazes me too, like another
Do
thing,
it for your family.
like almost all these guys were Second Amendment absolutists a while back, even though during Trump's first term he was
11 months ago.
Yeah. During Trump's first term, he was worse for gun rights than Obama. He restricted firearm rights in America more than Barack Obama did.
Oh, now he's trying to take guns away from everyone who smokes pot.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
Yes. So
He's already been given permission to have a registry of gun owners, like to force gun organizations to hand over a registry at least once.
yeah. Now they're still fighting that in court. They're refusing to comply, and they're like, "No, we're appealing, and we are not turning this over until appeal."
And,
Which good for them. I approve.
When they briefly floated the idea of maybe possibly taking away every trans person's guns, at least the NRA spoke up,
Right.
which I didn't expect.
I didn't, but thank
but
you.
they did.
Like, I'll give them that. But yeah, their current argument, because there's a case about the legality of the same charge they got Hunter Biden under. That's the funny
Yeah.
part. The law that allowed Hunter Biden to be convicted. There is a case on it going to the Supreme Court, and the federal government is arguing that the no one who has used marijuana, even legally within their home state where it's legal, right? And interestingly enough, they're not even going to draw enough of a line where the legal types of cannabis that the Farm Bill legalized federally, right? A certain amount of THC in cannabis products are federally legal now because of the Farm Bill. However, the gun law does not differentiate, and it just says any marijuana or cannabis use, right? So, on the one hand, you have, it says illegal, but who knows what that means under that law, right? Versus lots of us going to a bar or a gas station or a store, right, and finding a little thing in a can that says, oh, it's got 5 milligrams of THC. Oh, this is legal to buy now? And they're like, yes, it is. And you're like, cool. Yeah. And you drink 5 milligrams, which is not enough to get you high, but it could make you a felon now if you own firearms.
Yeah.
That's what the government is trying to argue. And it's nuts. And every gun owner in America should be
Screaming of this. But too many of you motherfuckers are like, well, I don't smoke pot. I'm not one of those people.
Like,
here's the thing. They can do it for anything.
28% of the population that uses THC?
What's to stop them from then saying, it's like, well, you know, people on antidepressants are more likely to kill themselves.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you have a prescription for any sort of antidepressant or any psychiatric medication of any kind, it's a felony to have a gun.
Right. And again, you shouldn't solely care about your own rights or laws that will only affect you. as a moral principle, that's wrong. But
Right.
even setting aside the moral principle, let's look at
Pragmatically, you have to be able to care about other people's rights.
right. Like,
To protect your own.
in order, 28% of the United States population uses cannabis on a fairly regular basis, right? Of some type, be
Yeah.
it that small little fucking 5 milligram can that I talked about, to daily smokers, right?
Yeah, I do that maybe like once a month. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a little tipple.
That is
I'm a frog.
that is more than 1 in 4 people.
Yeah.
Okay, the vast majority of Americans, the over 60% of Americans have admitted to having used cannabis. Okay, so vast majority of us have done it, including you gun owners who say you don't touch the stuff. Right?
I know you motherfuckers.
Yeah, and many of
I
you
know
may
how
not anymore, but
I
you did in
know
high school.
how much weed you've smoking.
Right. If you don't now, great, but did you in high school? Did you in college? Right?
Did you ever?
Would you like to be considered a felon because you checked no in a box for something that you no longer do, but you did a few years back? Do you want your gun rights taken away from that? Do you want 1/4 of the population to be considered criminals because they currently own guns and they have done something that was legal for them? No, you don't. And if you do, you're a fucking authoritarian piece of shit.
You are why we need guns.
Yes.
Irony.
This is the kind of thing that I think, like, again, if this stuff does start backfiring, like, they're signaling that there are groups of people they want to start taking guns away from, and that isn't going to end well. And
No.
they seem to assume that it's only, like, liberals and people of color that do drugs, which is not true.
It's mostly not.
Yeah. Like, white people use drugs, like, statistically above the averages for any
we know
group
we
of
know
color.
basically what the political alignment drug use looks like statistically, and it's
Yeah, Republicans use less, but they don't not.
yeah.
Like, I guarantee you,
And even
you've
then,
got
it's
drug users in your community.
very, very strongly correlated with age.
Yeah. Like, I saw. Where was going to go with that? Oh, elephant in the room. Let's talk about why we can't have nice things, otherwise known as drunk Croatian tattoos.
Drunk Croatian tattoos.
All right, what are your thoughts here? I have thoughts. But
All right,
I want to hear yours.
I am inclined to believe him when he says,
We gotta preface what
Preface, okay.
we're talking about. I'm sorry. Graham Plattner, Senate candidate in Maine, who's
In
running
Maine.
as
a progressive,
a staunch progressive,
strong progressive.
anti-fascist. He's a real kind of like tough-speaking candidate. He's giving some people Fetterman vibes now, which I don't necessarily see, but I understand.
I understand the trepidation,
right.
based on history, but also like
He's not
Fetterman-
a political plant like Fetterman was.
Fetterman never said the things that he's said about like economics and politics.
Yeah.
Like not. Fetterman was just like I was mayor.
I was mayor and I was tough, but he was more of a political plant. He came
Right.
from an affluent family in finance. He was a finance guy himself. He could have taken over an insurance company, right? And instead, he went the political route, right? So,
Until he loses his primary.
yeah. Whereas Plattner did a little stint as a DC staffer, was mostly a bartender, served in the Marines a few times, and is like, well, I'm a little bit of an insider, and I'm a veteran, and I'm a business owner, and I know Maine, so
And
I'm
I'm pissed off now.
And I'm pissed off now, so I'm gonna run for Senate. I really liked the guy, but
Yeah. I am inclined to believe him when he talks about how he ended up with the Totenkopf tattoo on his chest,
yes,
which was that he was in Croatia
yep, in 07,
in 07,
22 at the time,
22, in the Marines,
he was between deployments too. He was between combat deployments.
and him and his Marine buddies got drunk and got tattoos.
Yeah.
Flash tattoos off the wall, picked them out.
Yep. They look like cool skulls.
Cool skulls. And
It's a bad tattoo, also.
it's a bad tattoo. It's poorly done. You can obviously tell it was done in some shithole in Croatia.
Yeah.
This was not.
It is a very punched in, all black.
This is
Totenkopf.
barely a step up from prison tattoo quality.
Yeah, and
like I don't know that they didn't do this with a needle and a ballpoint pen.
From 10 feet away, it looks like a Darth Vader mask.
Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad tattoo.
So, like, I am inclined to believe that when he saw it on the wall, he didn't know what it was, and then on his skin, like, it's like yay big. Like, it's not small, but it's not huge. It's like fist size, right?
Like, I forget I have one all the time. Like, it's just I don't notice it.
And it's not good looking, so it's like not easy to recognize what it is unless you know what it is. But oh boy, it is a variation of the skull and crossbones that was on the SS helmet.
Yeah.
Or cap.
Which I will say, like, it was the sort of thing that up through the early 2000s, if you got like a pack of clip art,
Yep.
it was probably going to be in there.
Yes.
Like, just it.
Flash, even all the way up into like 2010, if you went to like a tattoo shop that was focused, even here in the States, like any tattoo shop where like it was older, like motorcycle adjacent, not even motorcycle gang guys, but like motorcycle adjacent Americana flash art tattoo shops, right?
Yeah.
The fucking chintzy fucking touristy ones, you know, there was going to be some Nazi flash art on the wall, and something like that might have been on there.
Yeah, or you would even see that particular skull and crossbones, you might see it in a place where it's like you would have your artist otherwise tell you, it's like, I don't do that kind of stuff.
Right.
Because they just didn't know.
Yeah. And so now then you have Marine culture, which a lot of them. So yes, there's a white supremacy problem in the military and in law enforcement.
Just a dumb white guy problem.
There's also a dumb white guy problem.
They are.
And there's a dumb dude problem because when I was in, I can actually tell you that at least 2 people of color I knew, looking back, had tattoos that were probably white supremacist tattoos they didn't know about. Like because they just got them as flash art on the wall, right? And
especially if it's like one of the like runic designs that just looks cool and like, oh, this looks cool and runic.
Lots of Marine Scout snipers have gotten the lightning bolts because they look like SS. Yeah. Right? And they don't think of, because their brain doesn't think SS is the SS, it's Scout Sniper. Right.
They're not. All right, I have.
We talk about them eating crayons for a reason.
I have 2 cousins who are Marines. Not one of them, not the smartest people I've met.
And look, we're being a bit tongue-in-cheek here because they're not every Marine is an idiot. We know that.
We make fun of them for eating crayons. We call them jarheads for a reason. Like,
there's a culture that doesn't.
There's a lunkhead culture to it.
Right. And now, obviously, as you get into
sort of like, I'm tough, therefore I don't have to be smart.
Yeah. And there are different jobs that require smarts in the Marines, so good on you guys. Not everybody that joins is an idiot. Sure, absolutely. And, you know, obviously, officers, etc., have to be educated. All of that is good. Not saying Marines all dumb.
Your basic grunt, though?
Yeah, there's a culture that allows the basic grunt and your combat MOS guys to be like, yeah, we are tough. We don't have to be smart.
Your job is to kill shit good, not think a lot.
Yeah, and they drill into us. Our job isn't to do a bunch of thinking. It's to think about the task at hand.
Which is killing shit good.
Right. That's it. And what do we do to achieve
Kill
that
shit
task?
good and try not to die.
Yeah.
Those are your 2 jobs.
Right. And, you know, there's a lot of thought that goes into it, but it's very specialized to that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know.
Yeah, it's like
you need the logistics. You need to know what you're doing.
It's like Ben Carson being a neurosurgeon.
Right.
Like, his level of expertise on that one thing blows literally anyone else on the planet out of the water.
But on everything else, he's a fucking moron.
He doesn't know a single thing. You know, the pyramids were where Noah kept his grain.
Right. Like,
what?
That's one of the dumbest things you'll ever hear, but Ben Carson said it. Like, invert that. Marines don't have to have a bunch of education to be physicians, and they're not brilliant physicians. They're just good at being tough guys that shoot stuff and following the rules and the culture. And there is a lunkhead culture that goes with it. Yeah, so I believe that, and I'm inclined to believe that Maine being 98% white. Right?
Oh, yeah, nobody in Maine would notice.
Right. Nobody in Maine would notice.
Nobody in Maine would notice.
Like, just, yeah, so he went shirtless a bunch in Maine, and, yeah, nobody ever said anything. Like, I'm willing to believe that. He had it covered up. A bad Celtic knotwork looking thing, but it was a quick cover-up that he got done, like, the day after the news dropped, because he dropped it to get ahead of it, because apparently there's a video. There's a video from him at a wedding.
His brother's wedding, him singing, him lip syncing in just his underwear to Wrecking Ball.
That's right.
By Miley Cyrus.
To his sister-in-law as like a wedding gift gag.
Yeah, the gift was his embarrassment.
Yeah.
So he says.
And
now it's all our embarrassment.
Now it's all our embarrassment. Now, I will say that it is bad vetting on behalf of his team. He's gotten thrown under the bus by the strategist that resigned over the Reddit posts, because also, he had some Reddit posts that are a bit troubling. Most of them are fine. Most of them are great.
Yeah.
A few are not so great. He was going through treatment for his PTSD at the time. And he's a dude bro.
He said some shit.
He said some shit. So this strategist that resigned over those seems to be the only, as far as I can tell, the only actual political professional that he had on his team that had like experience. And so what I think is happening there is he's getting thrown under the bus by the one person whose job it was, who should have known to vet him better, trying to save their career.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, like, do you have any tattoos? Should be something that you just ask someone you are considering running a campaign for.
Right.
It's like, what, do you have any tattoos? What are they? Can I see them?
Yeah. And if you didn't recognize
when did you get this? Where did you get this? What were the circumstances of this? Do you know what that means?
Right. And if you
explain it to me.
If you as the person vetting them don't recognize it, like, and now you're saying that they should have known what it was.
And this is especially true
for you too.
For anybody under 50, where the rate of people getting tattooed is like exponentially higher than people over 50.
Right. And yeah, like, now obviously our awareness of like Nazi symbolism is increasing too.
Because that's the thing. He also, if that had been vetted and it came out that he had that tattoo early on, he could be like, okay, I'll get a cover up. If it ever comes up, I'll just be like, I didn't know what it was when I got it. When I found out, I got it covered up.
Yeah.
End of discussion.
Boom. You
Instead
do that
now,
before the campaign.
Instead, now we have discourse about whether or not he's a secret Nazi.
Yeah.
Is he a secret Nazi operative designed to infiltrate the... probably not, no.
Probably not.
If he were a secret Nazi, he wouldn't have gotten caught.
But it does...
Secret Nazis are way better at hiding that shit.
It does show some bad judgment on his part, and so I'm hesitant. Obviously, I don't have a horse.
I can't vote for him anyway.
Yeah, I can't vote for him anyways. I'm not going to send him money. So I don't... Like, if he somehow wins the primary, I may send him some cash to beat Collins. But Mills might actually destroy him with this now.
Yeah.
So, Janet Mills getting into the race. She's popular.
Which I don't
like,
care.
Not super popular, but she
I'm happy to
well
see Susan Collins just lose in general to whoever.
Right.
I would prefer it be a progressive who's not 80.
Yes, that's...
But, you know...
The thing about the discourse that I think a lot of people are failing to understand, both kind of like pro and con of him, right, are that everybody's doing it because of the hopes, and like the people who don't get it, they're like, why are all these people digging their heels in? Like, aren't getting that there's a bias in the progressive side of things, which is we don't get to have nice things. Right?
We never
get to have nice things. We've got AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and now Mamdani.
Yeah.
5
and like
on the national stage.
And you look at the
one
number
of
of these people
fucking running for mayor.
And you look at it, it's like a good chunk of these people are not natural born American citizens, therefore they are barred from certain offices constitutionally.
Yeah, 2 of them right off the bat.
They couldn't be president or vice president.
Yeah, so we have very little of the, like, you know, progressives and left of center, like further to the left than Hillary Clinton, from Warren and left, right? account for about 30% of the Democratic base, right? A third, okay? But we've got like 8 guys,
And
like
part
8
of the
people.
Part of the
right?
problem
Like,
is progressives don't run.
yeah. And so we finally get one who's running and saying the right things
Like-
and isn't 80 years old. And yeah, a lot of people are putting their eggs in that basket.
The fact of the matter is, this coming out should be an opportunity for another progressive in Maine to be like, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah. But
And steal that energy and be like, I don't have any
Nazi
Nazi
tattoos.
tattoos.
what are you going to do? Yeah. And, you know, you don't have.
You just say, I don't have a Reddit history. I don't have any sussy tattoos.
Right?
Now, I don't have any sussy tattoos, but I do have some online history. So I wouldn't run for office. I know what the opposition research would look like.
Yeah. There's a reason.
Now,
There's reasons I don't run for office.
I would work for someone else's campaign who did not have the opposition research against them that I might. I would do that. But they don't run.
No.
They don't run. That's like, we got this fucking idiot representative, fucking Anna Paulina Luna, psychopath.
Yeah.
Psychopath in my goddamn district.
Fucking unhinged person.
I know they will fucking find the meekest, most milquetoast, centrist fucking mainstream Democrat to run against her to get fucking destroyed because they won't have the goddamn balls to say fucking anything useful.
Right.
They'll be
And
like, I think that we should probably not allow ICE to wear masks.
Right. And now
It's like,
look,
no, fuck ICE. Abolish it.
I will give progressives a check, like, you know, if we're tallying things out, right? I'm going to give progressives and leftists like a checkbox on the. It's disheartening, right, when you have a Mamdani and it takes, like, you get a handful of endorsements and it takes months to get Kamala Harris's
They're
endorsement.
so fucking
right?
cowardly. They're so fucking
And
cowardly.
Chuck Schumer won't even support him, right? Like,
yeah, fucking primary him.
yeah, like
Fuck
that is
that guy.
embarrassing. The fact that a big chunk of like the party apparatus, while it has to legally support Mamdani, is like quietly like, go Cuomo, right?
What if we elect the
sex pest.
corrupt sex pest?
Who you know, took bribes and like
bribes.
as governor,
Said he'd be
actually turned the state over to the GOP by having the caucus of what was known as the runaway Democrats. Remember them? Like the six guys who were basically like far right Democrats, like Dixiecrat type, like
Yeah.
fucking like pro-Republican assholes who lived in districts that would never elect a Republican.
Yeah.
So they just ran as Democrats, and they were part of a little secret caucus that Cuomo controlled. So that allowed him to determine whether or not policies got through and when he was going to side with the Republicans.
You know what I really want to see in that election in particular?
That asshole.
Obviously, I want to see Mamdani win,
Sure.
but I want to see Sliwa come in second.
That would be great.
I want to see Sliwa beat Cuomo.
I want to see that, too.
That would make me
do.
so happy because
You know, there's a real possibility of that,
Curtis
too.
Sliwa, I would never want him to be mayor.
No. I wouldn't
But
want
man,
him to do anything in politics.
I appreciate the fuck out of that man. He is a true die-in-the-wool, hardcore New York eccentric weirdo
Yes, he is.
in every possible way. I was watching some old footage of him from back in the 80s when he was first forming the Guardian Angels. And I remember when that became a thing. Like, I
Right.
remember watching that on the news play out. And it was just, my former nemesis, Ed Koch, showed up at my bedside after I was shot in a cab. I never thought he would be there when I woke up from my coma after they left me for dead on the streets, but I can't be killed. I have 60 cats in my home. They're feral.
What is amazing about this New York race, we were talking about it in the car, but like, you've got Cuomo, who doesn't talk about policy at all for the most part. He just sucks.
Of course I'm a sex pest. I'm Italian.
Yeah. But
What?
But
That's
the
just what we
questions
do.
that every fucking debate I watch, it goes as follows. Like, Mr. Cuomo, would you go to every parade? Are there any parades you would boycott? No, I would go to every parade. Part of being the mayor is to go to all of the parades. We got all sorts of parades. I don't even know about all the parades. The parades are great. We got lots of parades. Okay. Mr. Sliwa, what do you say? All parades matter. All parades' lives matter. All parades are welcome in New York. Yeah, are there any you wouldn't go to? Nope. All parades matter. Mamdani, who the fuck cares about parades?
Yeah.
That was his answer.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be
Like
busy
what?
being mayor. I'd go to some parades. I'd skip
Yeah.
others.
I mean,
I'd be being mayor.
I know that there are like occasionally some like white nationalist parades in New York. You gonna go to them, Andy?
Of course he is.
You're
Proudly.
gonna
Wearing a G-string and sucking off a fucking Nazi.
It's what Italians do.
It's what Italians do. Yeah, right? I mean,
I joke, but
yeah. You get a little Mussolini in you. So, but that's just it. It's like it is substance versus form on the two weirdest ends, because you've got eccentric New York kind of right wing guy, right? Who's not actually all that terrible, but he's not great.
He's a
right?
lunatic.
But he's a lunatic.
He's funny.
It's funny.
I adore him as a human being,
And
a figure.
And then you've got Cuomo standing up for like the New York machine / the corruption of the city and state all of these decades / the powers institutions, right?
Corruption is what made this city great for the last 270 years.
Yeah. Cuomo is everything wrong with New York City and New York State. That is what he is representing. In trying to hold on to all of that corruption.
I mean, even Kathy Hochul has like endorsed Mamdani, and it's not like she's some sort of like violent progressive.
No, not
like
at all.
she's as middle of the road, fucking mainstream right-leaning Democrat as you get.
Yep.
She is the centristest of centrists.
And she's endorsed Mamdani. But the debates are not about substance. They're about, like, what would you do about the rat problem? Oh, rats are a big problem. They're a sign of the degradation of our city. That's what Cuomo's, saying. Fucking Sliwa.
I will release 50,000 feral cats into the streets.
And then we have Mamdani, who talks about the sanitation budget and increasing the cleanliness and beauty of New York, right? Making New York a better place. That's what he talked about. It is mind-boggling. Will you go to Israel? No, I'm not going to go to Israel. I'll be busy being mayor. Does that makes you an anti-Semite? No, it just means I'm
not running to be the mayor of Israel.
Right. Like, also, all of these assholes forgetting that he is a Muslim of Indian descent, born in Africa, not
Arab.
an Arab, like
Of any kind?
not related at all to 9/11.
But you have to understand that all 1.4 billion Muslims on the face of the earth are terrorists who must be destroyed. I'm not Islamophobic.
Why are you asking about my Islamophobia?
Why are you asking about my Islamophobia? Look, all I'm saying is that fully 1/5 of the world's population needs to be eliminated because they are inherently violent terrorists.
Yeah, of course.
Think of all the trees we could have. We could take from them in Indonesia alone.
That's the state of this dumb ass election, and that's why I give progressives a little bit of a pass on the it's disheartening, right?
Right.
I'll give you that.
But
all of the factors of the media wants to see you down, right? They want a dumb fucking they want a horse race, they want a game, or they want feel good stories saving cats from trees, right?
Right.
They want that shit. They don't want somebody who actually wants to challenge the system with policy.
Every single solitary race in the country should have a progressive Democrat running in the primary. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Sometimes that'll be the incumbent. Cool. That makes it easier.
And if they don't win, great. That's fine. I want them to win, but I want them to change the tone of the party.
Right, because you do move the platform. If you lose, if you were a strong progressive and you run a primary campaign and you lose, your opponent who wins will take parts of your platform that got you the popularity that you had from you and make it part of theirs. That's how you move the party to the left.
Yeah,
It's what the Republicans can't think, and they figured this out 15 years ago.
Yeah, they have over the last 15 years worked like laser focus to make sure that only true believers who jumped on the party line and followed orders, followed directions, and followed the base down the crazy path that it was going down could get elected.
Yeah.
Right?
And they did have the advantage of having, like, weirdo billionaires who were happy to just throw money at their campaigns in a way that progressives don't.
They don't. But, you know, what's funny about that is that Democrats, like, have been outspending Republicans by a lot as of late. There's more, like, because one, there's a lot of us willing to give, you know, $25, right?
Yeah.
$5, $10, $100, right? There are tens of millions of us willing to do that, and every one of us gives away fucking $100. You get 100 million of us to give $100. It's a lot of fucking money.
Of fucking money.
Right? And then, yes, obviously, corporations will bet on both horses.
Yep.
Cool, right?
To the point that it almost cancels itself out sometimes.
Sometimes.
Like a lot of times,
Right.
it'll be a wash.
And then, yeah, like,
It's bad optics, but it'll be a wash in terms of, like, actual outcomes.
and upper middle class professionals with advanced degrees, like, lean heavily towards Democrats, right? And they've got the money to actually spend on max donations, right? So even if they are a staunch progressive, right? Like, they may be a dyed-in-the-wool fucking communist who works at a goddamn university making $90,000 a year, right? They've got the money to donate $1,000,
And
right? Like, you know.
And here's the thing about primaries. You should never, in a primary, just vote for who you think can win the general election.
No.
You necessarily have to vote in a primary for the person you most align with. That's the point.
Right.
Because either they'll win, and then you get your candidate in the general, or they don't win. But it's like, oh, I won this primary, but only by like 3 percentage points. I only got 53% of the vote. My opponent got 47%. What got them that 47% support?
Now, I will give you, if the candidate that aligns with you a lot is also got a bunch of baggage, right?
I mean, don't vote for idiots.
Right, don't vote for idiots. Or like in this Plattner thing, like, as a progressive individual, clearly aligns with me. He's already got a bunch of gaffes. If I lived in Maine, right, I'd be going, oh, I don't know how I feel right now.
I think the smartest thing he could probably do right now is be like, look, we need a progressive in this race. I am in the race right now. If somebody wants to take my place,
that would be cool.
If there is someone who politically aligns with me, who wants to take my place because I have this baggage and you don't, please do it.
Right.
And then step aside.
But where I would currently stand if I lived in Maine, right, I'd probably be thinking, okay, I'll probably still vote for the guy, right? But if 2 weeks out from the primary, like, he had like 4 more fucking flubs, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna go with the centrist.
I think at that point I would probably skip the primary.
You're right.
But
you know what I mean? Like, at that
fuck
point,
all these people.
At that point, I'd probably go with the centrist because they have a chance of winning, right? Versus the guy with all of the fucking baggage.
And I think a progressive probably has a better chance at beating Collins than just another Democrat.
Yes, but it is just another Democrat that's won statewide several times.
It has to be a progressive that, like, doesn't have aggressively damaging baggage, which they might not have right now.
Right. Like, this is a coin toss on that one, but what I'm saying is
it's far enough out that it's who knows.
What I am saying is that voting for the general in the primary isn't a non-issue. It's just it should be your secondary consideration.
All right.
In my point of view, this is
something I have made a call for. Like, all right, if you are a leftist or a progressive, and you live in a state that has closed primaries, I need you to suck it up. Stop being weird about it.
Register and vote.
Register as a Democrat and vote in the fucking primary.
Yes. You've been saying this almost every episode since we started.
You will never get what you want. Like,
I love it about you. You'll never gonna stop.
I watched too many people do it in 2016.
I know. I did too. I was very upset, especially in
and they were young, and they were like idealistic, and they were fucking like so gung ho about Bernie.
I was even angrier that he like underperformed in open primary states.
Yeah,
like he did so badly in open primary states. I was like, you fuckers didn't even have to
register. Or you had to register to vote, but you didn't have to. There's another problem. Like I remember arguing with people. It's like, I don't want to have to register to vote. It's like, well, then you don't.
Why do you
What? I want him to win, but I don't want to vote. Voting is for cucks.
What?
Libs vote. I'm not
off.
a lib. Like,
I don't have time.
what are you fucking talking about?
I don't. Thank God none of those people are our audience. That's and if they are, they have now gotten really. We're gonna get some hate mail.
We're not gonna get any hate mail.
So that's why I know we don't have enough progressives in our audience of that kind of progressive, because we haven't gotten any hate mail yet.
We haven't gotten any hate mail. We've gotten some dumb comments, but not even many of them. Again, they've been like the dumb comments we've gotten. Is like, oh, you're a bot,
right?
Like that's grammatically incoherent nonsense that didn't say anything.
So, moving on from our rants about the elections, Letitia James, like all of the evidence is in her favor.
Yeah,
and they're still prosecuting her. Like,
not a good move.
There's a miles-long paper trail, and prosecutors already expressed their concerns in memos that they couldn't prosecute this because the paper trail does not align with the charges. They found some memos that prosecutors were sharing behind. ABC has just reported on it. But no. Now so how many of Trump's, the very specific people that Trump ordered be prosecuted have been prosecuted so far?
At least 3.
3 of the 4, right?
Yeah. Because they've gone after Bolton and Comey and James.
Yep. So Adam Schiff is the one that they haven't
Adam Shifty Schiff
gone after yet.
Shifty Schiff.
But the President of the United States accidentally, as a public post that was intended to be a DM, ordered the Attorney General of the United States to prosecute 4 political opponents as retribution
for being political opponents. And or in the case of 2 of them, for their actions involving his prosecution for crimes that he committed. Right.
And
I need you to
3 of the 4 have been indicted so far.
And did you see that nonsense with the prosecutor who brought the indictments? Like her text messages to like a reporter.
No, I missed
those. Yeah, she's like,
wait, is that the one where she wanted him off the record after she sent them? Yes.
It was like 6 days later. She's like, that was off the record, by the way. You can't use that.
You have to say it's off the record before you...
To say that. First of all, as a prosecutor, you should not be contacting journalists via text to yell at them.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't.
About their reporting on someone else's reporting. Because the specific journalist that she contacted was only like reporting what someone else had said.
Right. Also, you need an agreement to be off the record before it's off the record. Like,
yeah, you got to say this is off the record.
First, you have to say this is off the record. Okay. Second, if you say, like, let's say it's a text, and the first text is, this is off the record. Now, I haven't responded yet as a journalist. I just got it, and I opened it up. I look and like, it's off the record. And as I'm just about to say, I don't want to have an off-the-record conversation
spouting
with you.
Shit.
You start spouting shit with you. You will be like, no.
I have to accept, as a journalist, that it is off the record. I have to. The journalist has to agree to that.
Yeah. Like, you can't just start communicating it. You can say off the record, but if you just send them a bunch of
you have to be like, this is off the record, and the journalist has to say, okay.
Also,
some sort of affirmative consent.
Yes. Also, if you sent it in text, you're fucked. Like,
yeah.
Even if you wanted it off the record.
You are literally creating the record.
Yeah. You are, like...
And, like, I don't care if you try to delete those texts later. Google has them.
And here's the thing.
Apple has them. AT&T has them.
If you really think that you've got a great ethical workaround and you really want to get me on my journalistic ethics, you ever send me something like that without my consent and you think it's going to hold it to me, and I want to hold up my ethics, I'm going to read it like this, where my buddy here can see exactly what I'm texting, what I'm reading. And I'm going to set my phone down and go, well, that was off the record for me, I guess. And then, according to text messages seen by Gonzo with the grift, that is what you're going to get, asshole.
I have seen off-the-record text message. It's just...
Yeah, I've seen text messages that they were trying to talk off the record, but I saw it. And as you saw it, you can report anything you want, because you weren't held to any standard there.
I shan't be held to standards.
Speaking of standards, did you see that the far right in Israel voted on a symbolic annexation vote to, one, shame Netanyahu into doing more to help them, right? While also did it while Vance was in Israel.
No, what happened?
Yeah. So
I didn't hear any of this.
So the far right, in a symbolic, vote 25 that passed 25 to 24 in, a process vote, right? Voted for a broad annexation plan of the West Bank. Okay.
I do believe I heard something about that specific vote, but no details.
Now their plan was basically to shame Netanyahu and embarrass him, being you're not doing enough for the coalition. Get your ass.
You're not doing enough to help us steal land.
Right. So that was the point of it. But the other point of it was they timed it for J.D. Vance being in Israel, forcing Vance to actually criticize the vote and be like, it is an insult to, one, the United States, because Trump just went and told them they couldn't do it and made a big noise about how he's saying they can't do it. And they were like, cool.
But what if we did it?
What I love and hate about it, I love it because, my God, the balls on these fuckers. But what I hate about it is, my God, the balls on these fuckers.
Yeah.
Right? They're our fucking foster child. They're our ward, right? They are
the Robin to our Batman.
Right? But they are so goddamn financially...
that actually works. Robin was more violent than Batman.
Yeah.
Lot less
Jason
restraint.
Todd.
Lot less restraint
Or
coming
Damian.
from.
They're Damian Wayne.
Yeah,
they're Damian Wayne. He didn't care who he murdered or how.
And then I beat him to death because I could.
What do you mean I
I'm
can't
13.
stab anyone? Yes, I made a deal with the literal devil. Who cares?
You gave me training and weapons and expect me not to kill people. I'm 13.
I'm going to hang out with Grandpa. He lets me assassinate people. League of Shadows doesn't care. That's...
Yeah.
Israel's Damian Wayne. But that said, their government budget would implode if we pulled the plug, right?
It'd be funny.
If we hit them with sanctions or just cut trade with them, their economy would see a 12% drop overnight.
Ain't no coming back from that one.
No. The United States and business with the United States and funding from the United States accounts for between 18 and 26% of their GDP.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They need us. We do not need them except in the weird geostrategic American interests in the Middle East way.
We like having them as a proxy to do our dirty work in the region.
That's it. And they help us make cool AI weapon stuff. But we can make that here.
We like being able to let them do something that we can't do, and then say it's well, they shouldn't have done that, but it's already happened. So what are you gonna do?
Right.
We can't hold them accountable now. It's already over. What would the point be?
Yeah,
and then we do that for 76 consecutive years.
And they're a little rogue nuclear power that is mostly aligned with our interests. So if something does go wrong over there, they got it, right?
Yeah. When those of you,
whoa, yay, nice.
When those of you who have always talked about we should make the entire place glass. When that happens, it'll be Israel doing it.
Yeah, that's
also to themselves on purpose.
Which, as we've spoken about before, I am a huge proponent of nuclear armament, not disarmament. Not non-proliferation. I gave up on that. I used to be.
It's one
I
of
was
those
a non-proliferation guy for so long.
Well, there was a point where it looked like it was possible.
Right. Like after the 90s.
But at a certain point, like if anyone has them, everyone has to have them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, somebody's going to use them.
Like, and
by somebody, I mean Israel. Against Iran, probably.
Yeah, and we're still back in we're back in a Cold War. We're definitely in a Cold War with Russia again.
Yeah.
We're just not calling it that.
And it's a stupider Cold War than the last one.
Right. And we're trying to start one with China, which will be like a tripolar Cold War. But the old Cold War being like bipolar, like with two attempts at creating a pole around the world, right? Explicitly, that kept things relatively stable, except in those proxy war areas, right? Yeah. But for the rest of us, it was all stable. This is dumber.
Well,
and less
part
stable.
of the reason that the being in a Cold War with Russia now is so stupid is that, like, at least the Soviet Union was a theoretical threat.
Yeah.
Like Russia, they are barely keeping themselves afloat.
But the problem with that
they are like always one weekend away from being a failed state.
Yes. But the problem being is we actually still have to fight this stupid Cold War with them. Like,
Yeah.
I hate it. It's dumb. But the only reason they're not a threat is because they haven't successfully annexed their neighbors, right?
Right.
Like, once they start doing that, like, this move in Ukraine is all about economics. Like, Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe. It is the way to have the most efficient pipelines of energy into Europe, right? And it's the control of the sea, okay? They want and need all of that. And if they don't get it, like, they're
Fucked.
Right.
They don't have anything.
Exactly. Like, they have raw mineral resources, lots of it,
And some oil.
and some heavy manufacturing.
But that doesn't mean anything if you can't sell it globally.
Yeah.
If you can't get it at, like, having all that shit in Russia doesn't do you any good if you can't sell it to people outside of Russia.
And heavy manufacturing is no longer as valuable as it used to be. Like, anybody can do that shit. You just got to be willing to destroy your environment, right? We're now all the good stuff, all the valuable stuff is high end.
And those are markets that China mostly dominates.
Yep. But everybody else has got a piece of it except Russia. Russia has like no piece in it. Like Germany makes the fucking, part of the chips, right?
Yeah.
Like the United States does the programming, right? Taiwan makes the fucking glass, right? Like, and the circuit boards. Like, we got, it's made in 12 countries and none of them are Russia.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's components from a dozen countries assembled in China, shipped to the U.S.
did you see that? Oh, the Louvre heist. Oh my God. We didn't talk about the Louvre heist.
It made me happy.
A broad daylight
Like
caper. This was a caper.
We don't get capers anymore.
Like the details of this thing. Like, what are the my favorite was seeing that French detective who looked so goddamn French and so goddamn detective-y.
The first truly inspiring caper since the Great Muppet Caper, which also happened in France.
Oh yeah, they used a furniture lift in slow motion, like it was caught on video. They used a goddamn furniture lift that it wasn't even fast. They just
the chutzpah. I respect it.
And they stole France's crown jewels. Like,
I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't aware France had crown jewels. They're stolen now.
the clip of this thing, like leaving the lift, right? Of the lift going down, takes 36 seconds.
It's one of those things where if you just like act nonchalant and like you're supposed to be there, no one will question.
Yeah, and then they get on scooters and go. Like, Scooters.
And then fucking Hercule Poirot shows up.
Right.
But he looks like he's 22 years old.
This 22-year-old, like, I don't know how old he actually is.
He looks like a child. He looks like a cosplaying child.
Yes, but he is dressed like a 1940s French detective.
The fucking fedora.
raincoat,
overcoat, like,
overcoat with a 3-piece suit,
the fucking the perfectly tied tie,
and holding his umbrella.
not a single hair on his head out of place.
Right, like the most meticulously French, out of a novel detective I have ever thought of.
It was like a little black cigarette had become sentient.
Right. Like, everything about this thing brings me so much goddamn joy. Like, they made off, and the thieves made off with 8 pieces of jewelry, including an emerald and diamond necklace that Napoleon gave to his second wife, Marie Louise, and a diadem that once belonged to the Empress Eugene, wife Napoleon III. The operation took less than 7 minutes, with 2 men who entered the gallery inside for 3 minutes and 58 seconds. France's Interior Minister, Laurent Nunez, has said that 100 investigators are on the case. This is...
Like, that is some fucking Ocean's 11 shit, and I am here for it.
And apparently
I fucking love it.
Security coverage on the inside is like highly insufficient and not updated, so like it's grainy, and they...
I mean... You look at the pride and joy of the Louvre, the Mona Lisa,
right?
A painting nobody cared about until it was stolen.
Yeah, it's fair.
And then it became famous. And then they got it back, and it became the most famous painting on the face of the earth.
Yeah,
but only because it got stolen from the Louvre.
I mean, art enthusiasts have always loved it, but it became famous after that, right?
It became like the most globally recognizable painting in human history after that.
Yes, yeah. But yeah,
what do you think the most? I don't have to look up what the most globally famous painting before the Mona Lisa was.
I'll have to check that out.
I'm curious.
But yeah, so they stole the French crown jewels in broad daylight in like 7 minutes, which is not a long time.
No.
But also not a short amount of time.
No.
Like, as far as capers go, right? Like, because again, the exterior getaway was 39 seconds on the lift.
That is about the length of an Opeth song, on average.
And German firm is running an ad for the lift that they sell that says "quiet as a whisper." The German firm that made the lift is running an ad based on it. About how quiet the damn thing is.
It's easy to forget that the German people do have a sense of humor. It's just that. It's just like that. That's what their sense of humor is.
They're very literal people.
Yeah.
Like, they have a sense of humor, but they're very literal people.
It's interesting. It's almost like a nation of nothing but autists.
Right. So, speaking of... This is fucked. At least 25 states plan to cut off food aid benefits in November because the budget is fucked.
And like, this is money that has already been like allocated. Like, it's not like this is money that like, oh, we need to find the funding for. No, this is money that's like there, ready to be dispersed. They canceled like tens of millions of dollars worth of deliveries to food banks.
Yeah, like, so. Lots of people are going to start starving.
Lots of children are going to start starving.
Yeah.
And if like
money is going to be incredibly tight for the poor, like tighter than it ever has been.
Some of the like genuinely subhuman ghoulishness I've seen of people like excited about this.
Yeah,
like they are happy. It's like maybe you should have thought about how you spent your October money more smartly before you.
How many people think, oh man, next month I'm not going to have any money for food for this benefit that I qualified for that the government said it was going to give me?
I'm not allowed
take into account with my budget.
I'm not allowed to say what I hope happens to you on the internet.
That's true. But I think it.
I'll leave it at that.
I think it all the time. On an up note, and this
luxuriate on it.
I guess I'll put this on the good news for Sam category, maybe, except for the heist thing.
The heist thing was awesome news for everyone.
I don't know if you've talked to Gabs at all or heard, but we're working on some road closure permits to do some food drive stuff next to the bar.
Okay.
Throughout the next few weeks.
Sweet.
And so we've got
I have not talked to her about that.
A month worth of road closure permits kind of like lined up. For weekends to do some food stuff, and we're gonna maybe partner with some artists to do some art show stuff and like food and art and food, trade art for food or food for art like kind of things. So that's good news in general because it's not big news.
Yeah.
It's not widespread news.
It's good local news.
But we are trying
Have
to...
we decided if we're doing a potluck again?
I haven't decided that yet.
Okay.
Probably. You mean like Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, every year. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm 7 years in. This is going to be year 8.
Yeah. It's always a great time.
8 years now.
It's always an awesome time. I don't work Thursdays anymore, so it's nice for me.
Yeah. But on an up note, we're doing that because of this,
Yeah.
right?
We got a lot,
And so we've got...
right down the street from me, right down that way. I pass it all the time. There's a food bank that's there every Wednesday morning, I think, and in good times, I see like 50 car lines waiting to get in. Like in good, normal, decent economic times, people aren't struggling more than normal times. I see like 50 cars lined up waiting to get in to get shipped from the food bank.
But apparently, we're getting some partnerships with some restaurants and some a couple grocery stores that are going to help us out.
That's awesome.
And provide food.
And like that's the thing. Like,
and I'm not even really involved in this. I got this news and like I signed off on it because I was like, yes, of course I will do that.
And this is something I want people to understand. Like,
I don't do
anyone
anything.
anywhere can do this shit locally for their own community.
Yes.
And no matter what the federal government might be doing, or even your state government might be doing, you can positively impact your local community, your neighborhood, your town, your city.
Mutual aid is great. It is necessary. It's genuine praxis, right? All of those things are true. It is a poor substitute for systematic changes.
And like
right?
I still think that even if we did get all the systematic changes we needed, doing that sort of mutual aid would still be good.
Oh yeah, I think it would actually be easier because you'd have fewer people that need it.
Yeah, but there's always going to be people who slip through the cracks. There's always going to be people. There's always going to be people who are too proud to take advantage of the programs that could help them.
Yes, and of course there are going to be people who are incapable of it due to
whatever reason,
disorders or whatever, right? Yeah. And I always believe that no matter what we do systematically, we should continue to help people. I just think it gets easier.
It does, and you have to help fewer people.
Yeah. And when your community's like, oh yeah, no, we help everybody.
And you can really focus on the people who need the most help.
So I'm a big UBI guy.
Yeah.
Because I also like to free up time.
And you wouldn't also need like a UBI
people.
A UBI wouldn't even have to be particularly big to make a huge difference.
No.
Like if everybody, even if it were just like $500 a month.
Yeah.
Extra. Free and clear.
I think that it should be set at a sufficient amount to, how would I put it? I mean, cover like a single individual who is sharing a room or renting a tiny space with other individuals, right? Splitting costs. Enough for them to cover rent and food, right? Yeah. Like that's what I think it should.
Which
at a
I think would also
cover.
drive down the prices of rent.
Right. People argue it would drive up the prices of rent, but God. Oh, speaking of actually, no. You know what I think is the real problem with that? I just read a stat the other day that was insane. But from the 1950s to 1980, we were building like between 380,000 and 700,000 homes a year.
It's a lot of homes.
New starter homes, not just new homes, but new
homes. Like homes. Somebody who could afford. We're looking to get a first home.
Yes, and so the qualifications are like 1,400 square feet or smaller, right? And within what the range was considered affordable, right? As a starter home. Last year, the United States built 70,000 of those.
That's inexcusable.
Right. That's.
How many McMansions did we get?
A lot more, but still not enough. We're not building. We're not building at the rate that we used to. We're not even building McMansions at that rate.
Even if we built 800,000 McMansions a year, that would drive costs down over time. Yeah, just because there'd be more inventory.
And
of course, they would want to move.
The Airbnb market is having its second collapse in 3 years.
It's a bad one this time too. I have seen people. It's like like eight of my properties are being foreclosed on right now because I can't keep anybody in them.
You should have sold 1 or 2 of them.
I know. It's like I'm trying to sell them now. It's like you probably can't.
Yeah. Don't wait until you're 3 months behind. Like,
good luck, brother.
Yeah. Or maybe I don't know. Rent them out to actual tenants. I got
Yeah.
a real idea for you, right? But that's the problem too, is they probably bought that as the Airbnb craze went off, right?
Which was insane.
And then everybody in the second half of the market, individual buyers, right, was buying at inflated prices.
Yeah.
Right?
I want to make so much money.
Because everybody else was already in making money when it was cheaper, right? So everybody in the second half of that run, right, got in at higher prices, okay? So in order to make their nut, right, it's hard for them to rent it at
Fair
market rate.
value,
Because they're
like even if they just charged a monthly rent that would exactly cover their mortgage, it's probably above what
the fair market
fair
for
market
most
for,
rent
for that. Yeah, especially since like
that they want to get, because unfortunately the problem is that they're part of the problem as to why rents are already so high.
and it's part of things like most of my experiences in Airbnbs, they've sucked.
Yeah,
Like,
I loved it, and I don't love it so much anymore.
They're shitty. It's like you start realizing exactly how cheap everything is because they're cutting corners at every single possible
The
place.
cleaning fees and the
cleaning
rules.
fee- like
I go to a hotel, right? I get a suite in downtown Chicago. Okay, I rented a junior suite. It was beautiful, right? Had a good time. Great hotel. It was a 5-star. Loved it. Now, my one thing I had to do, because it was a junior suite, right, was sign this like set of kind of like rules, quote unquote, for not destroying the place, throwing a party, right? Doing the rock star thing. I had a list of things I couldn't rock star it in there.
don't go full mud shark.
Yeah. If I was in a room smaller than that, I wouldn't have had signed shit about that, right?
They'd have been like, here you go.
Your standard hotel rules, right? If you destroy the place, we sue you. That's it. And no smoking. Okay, cool. But no, because I got a suite, I had a list of rules. It was less than my Airbnb. Right?
Yeah.
Fewer rules and restrictions than my Airbnb. And it was only to stop me from destroying this junior suite, because I had like fucking three rooms in this fucking bitch, right? And a bathroom. Like, it was,
And like, I mean, if I'm,
my Airbnb charged me for fucking like they had all white everything in the bathroom, all white linen, all white, and like mats, etc. They charged me for the dirt on it. Like, I came from a music festival and I took a shower, and there was dirt on your white, like like they had one of those rag type, floor mats, right? That I have in my fucking apartment, and it was all white. Like, it got dirty. That's
what happens.
You wash it.
That's why you have washing machines.
They charged me $40 for that.
Yeah, fucked.
On top of their cleaning fee, that was
I don't have any
$250.
sympathy for anybody who's losing everything in the Airbnb market.
Yeah.
Not like.
And I used to love them.
Less sympathy than I have for landlords.
Yeah. Like, when I get an Airbnb situation where like the owner of the property lives on property, like let's say it's a cottage they have attached to their house, or like half their house is set aside or something like that, and the hosts are really cool. I love that stuff, right? It's like, oh yeah, you get to experience this person's like really cool place, and then they tell you about the town and all that shit. And like, love those experiences.
It used to be nice, and
but
like
they're like 1 out of 10 times now.
And every time I've done an Airbnb, I've always been lucky that I've had a place that was in a cool part of town.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing I like about them, is you get those experiences.
Like, hotels are very rarely in the cool part of town.
Right.
They're in the hotel part of town.
Yeah.
But the place we stayed in Philly was like 3 blocks from South Street.
Right.
Like, it was awesome. It was a dump.
Right.
Like, the flip down fucking breakfast table, like, didn't sit properly and was wobbly as fuck because one of the fucking hinges was loose. And the fucking screws were stripped, so it's like, I'll fix it. And I'm like, nope, can't. Screws are stripped.
I stayed in a cool. The place was not like the greatest of shape, but it made sense because it was like a 120-year-old shotgun house in New Orleans,
Nice.
in the Treme neighborhood. I loved that because
I'm lucky now in that multiple of the places I would go to, I have free places to stay. Like, if I want to go to Philly, I can just stay in Philly now, so that's gonna be cool. Last week was my sister's last week owning a motel in South Jersey, so They're going to be in New Orleans full time.
Oh, wow.
Now at their house, I think they've got it's either a 3 or 4 bedroom house. They've got at least 2 extra bedrooms beyond their own.
Fair. It always struck me as you do things the opposite. When you have a family member that owns a place that they don't live in full time, but it's a cool place that you want to visit, you arrange to visit that place when they're not there.
Yeah, but I don't want to go to New Orleans in the middle of the summer.
Fair, I guess.
I'm going to go when the weather's a little nicer.
Fair, I guess. But man, the jazz clubs are popping in the summer there.
Yeah, which will probably be like the only time I wouldn't go is I wouldn't do Mardi Gras to myself.
Fair.
Like I have aged out of doing that to myself, especially since so few people I know drink now.
Right.
Like
you remember how I did Christmas to New Year's there a couple times?
Yeah.
I loved it there, but also it was still too cold. So I might not do that again because I'm like, it gets chilly. It gets too chilly there.
Well, I don't get chilly.
I do. I get
but
very
I would,
cold.
But like wearing like a nice jacket and some long pants sounds nice sometimes.
But it was sometimes hard to gauge because you get the day would be like 75 and sunny.
And then it does cool down a lot at night.
And then it'd be like 40 degrees at night.
And it can be that like sort of damp cold.
Yeah, a very damp
you're right
cold.
on the. It's like right on the water. You're on a swamp.
Yeah.
It gets in your bones cold.
Right.
You can feel it like I know this joint right here that I fucked up when I got hit by a truck. That starts to hurt. And that kind of cold. It starts to ache. It's almost arthritic.
Oh, did you hear about the candidate for governor?
Which one?
In Illinois?
No.
His son and daughter-in-law and 2 grandkids were all killed in a helicopter crash.
Jesus.
Today. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. Like
That's fucked up. I don't care who you are. That's fucked up.
Yeah, and you're running for governor, and all of a sudden you lose that much of your family at once. I'll be surprised if he stays in it.
When Biden was like first sworn into the Senate, like 2 days after his wife and daughter were killed in a car accident that almost killed his sons too.
Biden could never kill. Like every time he gets somewhere big, somebody dies. Like every fucking time.
Yeah, like 2016 was his time to run.
Yeah.
Trump would have never been president if Beau Biden hadn't have died. Joe Biden would have run in 2016, and he would have.
MAGA would have never existed.
MAGA, yeah.
Like not.
I don't even think
to the degree it does.
I don't even think Trump would have ended up the nominee for the Republicans.
Probably not.
Because it was only like the weird antipathy towards Clinton that allowed that to happen on that side.
Yeah. Like.
And I don't particularly like Hillary Clinton, but the way some of you people hate Hillary Clinton is weird.
God, did you see the fucking massive $230 million demand for a payout that Trump is making of the DOJ?
Yeah, you unfairly prosecuted me for the crimes I committed. How dare you investigate me for the crimes I commit? I am the president.
Yeah, that is absolutely fucking unhinged. Like, just the president of the United States demanding that the federal government that he controls pay him
his DOJ
pay him hundreds of $millions in
it's like
compensation.
It happens to be exactly the cost of that ballroom he wants.
Miraculously, isn't it? That he's apparently
like $230 million each.
Yeah,
it's funny
that he's not actually paying. Like this is all a grift. We are being robbed by this asshole,
and some of you are
taking our rights.
Some of you are proud of it. What is wrong with you fucking people?
He's taking our liberties. He's detaining American citizens. He's storming cities. He's putting federal agents on the streets of Chicago and D.C. and fucking San Francisco and L.A. and using the fucking military and stealing from us all at the same time.
He's already destroyed the entire country's soybean market and looks to be destroying our cattle industry with tainted beef from Argentina.
And demanding that American beef manufacturers or producers cut their prices that they're already hurting on.
Yeah, they're already like not making money. Like
none of this is good. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
I understand that those of you who are still committed to this just think that man, if we can just hurt enough people long enough, we will get to be a country of 100 million white people, and everything will be good.
It ain't happening.
It ain't happening. It's stupid. You're stupid. Fuck all of you. Burn in hell.
Like, you do understand that when you try to implement that plan, if the number 100 million happens as a change in our demographic, it will be you 100 million dying.
Right.
Like, if you try to enact Stephen Miller's dumbass plan of who he's going to hurt and pain and push and punish and arrest and force and strip the rights of, if these things continue, there will be a difference of 100 million lives in this country. Yeah. You fucks will be dead.
It's, let's say that Stephen Miller gets his dream, and the United States of America is nothing but 100 million of the whitest white people to ever white on the face of the fucking planet. Who do you think is going to be toiling for their billionaire overlords? White people who are left?
Yeah. That you guys don't think about this shit at all, like, and it's galling.
And your fucking commitment to white supremacy in the fucking absence of all other considerations is truly fucking almost awe-inspiring, because it is the most misguided fucking thing imaginable.
Yeah.
For you.
And you know what? We're going to talk about that in the next half. I think it's time for a little break.
Yeah.
We'll change the battery on the camera here.
Yeah. We are recording.
All right, we're back. And, white supremacy is dumb in many ways. One of them being how our modern day Gestapo, the secret police, are stupid. They, in an ICE raid, they were trying to break a window, and an ICE agent broke a window with a gun. It went off, and he shot a federal marshal.
Yeah, good. Look,
that was in a raid where they also arrested the TikToker that had been following and posting ICE's activities. I don't know why they've arrested him. We'll find out, I guess.
He was making them feel uncomfortable by tracking their activities.
Yeah. When the government is afraid of people knowing what they're doing
something they shouldn't be doing.
Yes.
Like, that is a simple one-to-one correlation.
Yeah. And you always have a moral. I'm not arguing about the legality of it, because I'm not a lawyer, so I can't give you advice, but you always have a moral defense, and you're in a moral claim to defending yourself against armed individuals in masks who refuse to identify themselves.
You don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
They won't tell you who they are. They might be federal agents. They might be just somebody who wants to get you into a van to take you places. And you have no way of knowing until you're in the van and they've got you where they're taking you.
That has already happened several times, including sexual assaults. Groups of men.
We said this would happen, and then it did, because it was obvious. And you're stupid if you didn't see it coming.
Bingo. So, speaking of which, all of that says white supremacy is dumb. Why else is it dumb?
Well, first of all, the big thing about white supremacy is that it is not good for anyone.
Right.
In the broadest strokes, like a very teeny, tiny, itty bitty little fucking cabal of ultra wealthy elites benefit from it.
Right.
Because it allows them to fuck everyone else over in varying ways. Now, start this off the bat. White supremacy is definitely worse for people who aren't white.
Correct.
Like, that is...
We will never...
obvious. If you are non-white, you are suffering more under white supremacy than any white person is.
Yes, us mayonnaise complexioned individuals are not suffering more than you.
No.
We will never...
Don't want anyone to think that that is what we are saying. But if you are white, you are still suffering under white supremacy unless you are a member of the top 0.1% of the wealthiest human beings on the face of the earth.
Much like we argued that patriarchy hurts men, white supremacy hurts white people.
Right.
And
it was designed specifically to do that, honestly, as much as anything else.
Right.
If not more.
Like, just before we get into the dumb economics of it, let's think about all the things it strips from you, right? Like, I don't know a single white person that doesn't like Mexican food.
Right. Because
Right?
it's delicious.
It's delicious.
It's amazing.
Chinese food, popular, right? Thai food, popular. Okay? Think about
Pho.
all pho, popular.
Pho, yeah.
Ethiopian food is amazing.
Ethiopian food might be the best.
It hands down. It is. We need to go on a
Indian
bro
food.
date
Fuck
soon.
Indian food.
Indian food is good. Like,
We finally have like a really good Indian
yes.
place in town.
So the thing about that is like white supremacy denies you access to other cultures. Okay, it is denying you an opportunity to meet and experience people from other places. Okay, that are going to bring with them new things.
In many regards, if you are a white person, white supremacy has robbed you of your own culture.
Yeah.
You don't have the connection to wherever your ancestors came from that you otherwise would if we were not lumped into an amorphous, vague group called white.
Right?
There is no such thing as white culture.
I mean, think back 30, 40 years when you've got, like Italian American Day festivals and like different cultural festivals that happen, and they still happen in pockets of the Midwest, but all of that is dying out because of this weird, like amorphous white American culture that we've been harping about. But you used to have like Greek Day festivals and pierogi festivals and
Pulaski Day and fucking
and all these things were ways of us European Americans, right, to experience our culture or the culture of our friends and family members and neighbors,
where our ancestors came from.
Yeah, and
Oktoberfest. Fucking yeah.
And it amazes me how I'm seeing less and less of, like, just 20 years ago, like I saw Oktoberfest be a much bigger thing than it is today.
Huge. I loved it.
I barely see anything about it anymore, right? And it's like, where are all my brats and fucking beer steins and like
huge ass fucking steering wheel sized pretzels?
Right. Where's all that?
With spicy brown mustard.
It's being robbed from us because of this amorphous white evangelical view of the world. Okay?
It just evens us all out into one a pasty middle.
Which is
with nothing left. We become strip malls of human beings.
Yeah, and it's dull, it's boring, it is alienating, and it doesn't create a positive monoculture for us at all.
It destroys culture, period. You don't have a culture at that point. What is the culture of whiteness? That doesn't exist. It's not a thing.
And the things that are like quintessentially American, like you've got to say them in this, like, in that tone, or once you examine them, they're dull, right?
Yeah.
It's like, look, I love hamburgers and I love hot dogs, right? But burgers, dogs, and fucking 4th of July, who cares?
Yeah.
Right? Like, and like it's when you just tell me that that's American culture, like, Budweiser or High Life and fucking cheeseburger.
Okay. I mean, they're fine. They're fine.
Like, that's not a culture, right?
No.
That is a flatness. That is like Americana at its worst.
Especially when if you look at all of the things that are genuinely like exciting about what you could call American culture, all black people.
Right, all
top
black
to
people.
bottom, all black people. Everything really cool culturally that this country has ever given the world,
right,
came from black people.
From food to music, like
they gave us the blues, they gave us jazz, they gave us rock and roll.
Most pop music, lots of soul and R&B.
Everything you think of like good Southern food came from black people because it was not the plantation owners cooking that shit.
Right, like we're not. It's not us, man, and like that boring, pasty, bland American culture you guys are striving for is killing you. It's killing you because you've got no substance to you.
No,
you have no gravitas to you. You're not building shit, as Stephen Miller thinks he wants to say. And so we're boring, right? Like, that sucks.
It encourages us to be okay with being boring.
God, yes, it does. I don't like that. I want fucking Polish festivals and Oktoberfest and Italian festivals and fucking baked ziti and punk music and
Yeah, I am.
like punk is one of the few like mostly white inventions in music, right? And it's cool because it's against conformity,
And
right?
also, like-
and it's not exclusively white.
And also, like, as much as I am not a fan of ska, ska was integral to the formation of punk,
Right?
and that came from reggae,
It did.
and not the whitest of musical genres.
Ska punk, however, fairly white, and I love it. But again, it's countercultural. It is in rejection of the boring, bland monoculture of America
Yeah.
that they try to foist on us. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
Everything cool white people do is in rejection of it.
look at what whiteness did to country music since 2001.
Oh my God. Like Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen, Jason Aldean. I was fucking driving around the other day listening to I have satellite radio in the car. And I had on one of the news channels, and I heard an ad. It was Jason Aldean shilling for Patriot Mobile, the only conservative Christian mobile network for your mobile cellular network.
God.
Jason Aldean, go fuck yourself. Fucking, I grew up in a small town. Eat my shit and hair.
Yeah. You know, I can't. It's so dull. It's so
But
boring and bootlicky and
it was formulated to keep you economically oppressed and okay with being economically oppressed.
Yeah.
It was created so that you, as an indentured servant, would see how the non-white servants were treated. You'd be more okay with how you were being treated because at least you weren't being treated like them.
yeah. Like
And then we get 400 years of that
Yep.
stacked on top of each other.
we talked about it a little bit in different episodes, but Europe was not sending its best, okay? Hell, I just caught another story. So Louisiana, this is a fun one about New Orleans, right? Apparently one of the largest mass marriage ceremonies in French history
Okay.
happened when 184 convicted prostitutes were given their choice of which 184 men they wanted to marry who were also convicted of crimes. Okay? And by accepting a marriage between those two pairs of criminals, right, and exile to New Orleans, they could have a free life.
I mean, it explains a lot about New Orleans.
It does, right? But so New Orleans is a city partially colonized and founded by and there were a number of deportations. Like the only people with means were second sons who were more destitute or were going to inherit less, right? Who were given, okay, here's your chunk of the fortune that we're going to give you, go, right?
Just get.
And then officers for the French military, right?
Yeah.
Those are the original rich people in Louisiana, right? Everybody else was just convicts and losers, right? And that's winners of Europe didn't come here. Indentured servants did. Convicts did. Criminals did.
Yeah,
right?
if you
and
were-
religious weirdos who were too weird for their home country, right?
If you were doing okay in Europe, you stayed in Europe.
Yeah.
You didn't have a reason to leave.
Very
Especially when all the undesirables were coming here.
yeah. Every once in a while you'd get somebody who was doing okay, but they were like, I want an opportunity to step up.
Yeah,
right?
like I want to own tens of thousands of square miles of property.
Yeah. People who
I
were
can't do that in rural France.
people who are really successful in trades or as merchants, but still they knew they were capped in
Yeah.
Paris, right? We're like, okay, well, I've got I've got enough to buy like a house here, but
Yeah.
I could buy an estate.
Yeah, it's like I could have as much square mileage in the New World as my country has here.
Right.
I could own a country's worth of land to myself.
Yeah. But those
and
people
I'll call it Pennsylvania.
but those people, right, were still, comparatively speaking, not the top of the European stratification, right?
No, there were people who did not fit in. Even if they were economically well off, they weren't like people Europe wanted there.
Yeah. And so that's
It's like, oh God, you have money.
Yeah, that's how we got here, right? And the indentured servant thing, yeah, like having slaves living in a lower class than the slaves allowed indentured servants because many people were sent here as people working off their debts, right?
Yeah.
Like a huge percentage of the early waves of immigration in the first 150 years we existed, like were sent here to work off debts. Having slaves next door made that easier.
Yeah.
Right? But we have systematically, like, destroyed the lower class of white America and the lower middle class of white America by having an underclass that we utilize white supremacist tactics to hold as an underclass.
Yeah.
First, it was through slavery, right? Which 25% of the South's population, households, 25% of their households owned slaves. Okay, now,
Despite what Jillian Michaels might tell you otherwise.
right now that is a quarter, 1 in 4. That's a lot, right? But the thing is that only 1% of slaveholders or of the population, right, were what were considered the planter class.
Right.
They made lots of money and they owned 100+ slaves.
Right.
Everybody else owned a few.
Maybe one.
Maybe one. Right?
You had like 4 acres of land, and you would have one slave who would help you toilet.
Yes. And you know what? People who did
You're still a slave owner.
Yeah. And you know what? People who owned like 5 or 10 slaves, which wasn't enough for them to really like own a plantation or anything, but it was enough to get all their work done. They had a couple more slaves than they needed most of the time, right? So they made money renting them out. So instead of hiring labor, right, or allowing the market to have white workers and black workers compete for that labor, slave labor was rented out at a low rate, right? At less than a white worker would get paid for it, right?
You know, and
so
it might
suppressing wages.
Yeah, and it might be rented out at a rate that was like covered the cost of having the slave.
Yeah. Like, it was a great way of them...
Freeing them was fucking... We're not doing that.
No.
We're not just going to say, oh, well, I have more slaves that I need. I will free you.
Yeah.
So you may be a free man.
They were never going to do that. No. And that suppressed the economics of the South. When you look at the Civil War, right? Yes. When Southern apologists argue that it was about states' rights and economics, they're not entirely wrong, right? Like... It was about slavery, but it was about the economics of slavery. It was about the right.
It was about the states' rights to be slave states,
and the states' rights to force northern states to turn over their fugitive slaves.
Right.
Right.
Which was really the problem.
Yes. That was the
problem. That was the inciting factor. That's what caused it to blow up into what it did.
Exactly.
Otherwise, slavery would have persisted. Not a hell of a lot longer, probably.
Yeah, 50 to 80 years.
Yeah,
probably.
Before the turn of the century,
yeah,
it probably would have been like on its way out.
Yeah, it was becoming increasingly unpopular. It was dragging our economy down because while bankers in New York were making money off of slave-based transactions, right, and affluent farmers and fucking slave-breeding assholes down in the South are making lots of money, right? Again, you've got all these families that, like, you know, are having to cover the cost of owning slaves as a status symbol that they can't afford and renting them out for cheap.
Yeah.
To keep labor down. The South isn't industrializing at all.
Why would you industrialize when you can just force people to do it?
Like, hell, slavery was about to die economically before the cotton gin was created.
Yeah.
Right?
And then
that exploded it. But after that, again, all you've got is fucking cotton.
Yeah,
right?
you have a monocrop.
Yeah.
Like you have one fucking industry.
Yeah, like, what is your economy has no diversity. What are white people going to do? Look at the Appalachians. Why does it look so goddamn poor, right? Like, this is a no-brainer. Look at 10 minutes outside of every cool southern city, right? The shanty towns and falling apart fucking shacks.
It's amazing how quickly it happens.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't experienced the Deep South... I don't think you can understand it. Like, I haven't lived in the Deep South.
No, but I've
traveled traveled through the Deep South. I have spent time in the Deep South. I have seen what the Deep South looks like. And I grew up in a part of Maryland that thought it was the Deep South.
Right.
Fucking Maryland, man. It's weird how that state thinks about itself outside of Baltimore City and Montgomery and Howard counties.
Yeah, well,
outside of the Beltway. Outside of the Beltway and outside of Baltimore City,
those areas outside of it had about 5% of their populations owned slaves.
It becomes very...
That's why.
Outside of those places in Maryland, it becomes very apparent that it was south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Right.
Even if it never seceded. They talked about themselves. My friends and classmates growing up talked about themselves like they were Confederates.
But
that's for damn sure.
The things that happen with this are for one, the cost of keeping white supremacy going, like the prison industrial complex, right? The United States has the largest prison population in the world, and it's mostly because white supremacy is a part of our legal structures.
And it's important to specify that is both largest per capita and in raw numbers.
Yes. We have 25% of the world's prisoners.
Like, you look at a country like, I don't know, China, that has like 4 times as many people as us.
And slightly less prisoners. And they're the only country that's getting close to us.
Right. But they have 4 times as many people.
Right.
And they're a country where it's easier to break the law and get in trouble.
Yeah, they have.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like, weirdly enough, they just use social pressures and slaps on the wrist for, like, little things that we would actually toss you in jail for 6 months to a year over.
And, like, if you're really corrupt, they just execute you.
Right.
Oops.
Which I don't agree with, but...
I'm not a fan of
the death penalty in general.
Death penalty in general, because I don't trust the state to make that decision.
Yeah.
Any state.
But you think about it, like the cost of incarceration in this country, the costs just from the taxpayer.
That we have now made a for-profit system on top of that.
Now, mind you, they're only about 2 to 8% of our prisons, right?
Yeah.
But that makes it worse. It's like, oh, look, this terrible system, we're making it worse over here. It costs so goddamn much. And then there's enforcement, right? Policing. More than half the country, the police budget is half of their municipal budget.
We live in a city with about 270,000 people. Our annual police budget is $140 million a year.
Wow.
That's our police budget. $140 million for a city with property crime, and that's about it.
That's a lot of money.
Like, we don't have real crime here. Like, I know there are people who get scared about going to certain parts of town because they're fucking cowards. We don't have real crime here.
Yeah, we have a few homicides a year and a few shootings a year.
Yeah,
right? Like,
we have so few homicides and shootings, they all make the news.
Right.
For days. For days. We all know about it when it happens because it's surprising.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we're a city, so it still happens, right?
Yeah. But we have a lot of bike theft. We have insane bike theft. Like, I mean, our bike we have some of the highest per capita bike theft in the country.
And now
we have a lot of auto theft.
And our policing is predominantly focused on policing predominantly non-white neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And traffic enforcement, right? Yeah. Which it's like, it's used as a revenue stream to catch speeders and such, right? And to over-police people of color.
And we are in neighborhood by neighborhood. I don't know how we compare to other places, but it feels like we are segregated by neighborhood.
Yes, quite a bit.
A lot. Like, you definitely know where the black part of town is and the white part of town, and then the lines are fairly stark.
And that was where I was going to go to the next part, the blight. Okay, yeah. So we've got all the costs of enforcement, right? You've got prisons, you've got policing. That's just draining our coffers, okay? And moral questions aside, it's just draining our coffers. Now you have the cost of prisoners to families, right? Every person you incarcerate, which are predominantly men, right?
Yeah.
You're taking breadwinners out of families. Lots of them. Millions of them every year, okay? So now you've got the economic drain of all of these families not having another working individual in the household.
They are suddenly single-family households often with a mother trying to do everything.
Yes. So you've got a lot of that happening. Okay, so now you're setting these families back. The cost of that, you've got to have SNAP benefits and or housing benefits and or handle like the increased cost of handling emotional disturbances in school, which children of parents who've gone to prison sometimes go through. Lots of them. There's at a higher rate than normal.
That's a traumatic thing to experience.
So you have increased costs to the family, right? Which also increase the cost to the state, and i.e. the taxpayer. Next layer, blight, right? Which is when you segregate areas, you are not investing in them. You are not putting money into them. You're not giving them the social service, the infrastructure that they need, right? They're not making sure that the housing is maintained.
Yeah.
It's when people are renting it out, the landlords don't have to make it look pretty.
No,
right?
they don't. You end up with either no sort of like sanitation systems for like trash disposal, or it's just not picked up, and you end up with these overflowing trash cans all over the place. If you have trash cans at all, which we don't have as many as we should.
You've got no sanitation handling the streets, so you've got more litter, more junk on the side of the roads, right? More things in the street because, you know, where our nice bar is, right? The street sweeper goes by every night.
Yeah.
Right? You go 10 blocks south, it does not.
Ever.
Right?
That last Friday night, I got home at about 1:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Sometime between me getting home at 1:30 in the morning and me going back out to get breakfast at like 9 the next morning, somebody wrecked an SUV down the street.
Oh, yeah.
They went through the traffic circle, took out a sign, and then it was parked in the park, the little park. It's not much of a park. There's not much to do, but it's a little park area. And it finally was gone by this morning.
It's Thursday.
It had
6
police
days.
tape around it. Somebody had taken the time to move the bumper, which had been ripped off from the sidewalk to in front of the vehicle, but it was just left there.
That does not happen in my neighborhood.
No.
And so now that level of care reduces the amount of economic investment that goes into an area. A bank isn't as willing to lend money, right? People with money aren't as willing to open businesses, right? The people who do live there can't meet the costs and regulatory burdens of getting the licenses to open their own businesses. It's harder to keep the buildings up to code because nobody has been. And so you try to open a restaurant in like a 60-year-old strip mall.
And you're like, oh, I got to deal with 30 years of like a lack of code enforcement.
Yeah.
And that's going to add an extra $40,000 to build out.
Yes.
And make it so that I open 2 months later than I thought I was going to.
And you're not going to get people from the neighborhood who have that kind of money.
I am absolutely positive that's why the craft cafe that's supposed to open down the street hasn't opened yet. They've been doing build out for like over a year on a gluten-free vegan bakery.
And it just
shouldn't take that long.
It just so happens to be in the predominantly black
south side of town.
And that's the blight that you get.
And I'm not even in a blighted part of the south side of town. You go on the other side of 34th.
Yeah, and it gets more blighted.
And it gets way more blighted. And the city cares way less about the infrastructure.
North Minneapolis is a great example to me. It's one of my favorite, like, how structural segregation fucks an area up, right? They built 35W right through it, okay? And they put fewer exits and entrances on the north side of it than the south side. Now, the north side of Minneapolis, before that freeway went in, was not predominant. Well, it was technically predominantly black, but it was almost equally mixed.
It was slightly
more black.
So
it was like 52 to 48. Yeah. That was the ratio,
which
over
is
there.
pretty damn. That is a pretty damn integrated neighborhood.
It was a very integrated neighborhood. But after putting that through, right, and cutting the amount of investment in infrastructure in the north end, right, the old mayor from the city, R.T. Ryback, his dad was a pharmacist who owned a pharmacy on the north side. Well, what wound up happening is white flight, right, and Dad couldn't afford to keep operating the pharmacy. So he had to close the pharmacy because didn't have enough customers. Well, now all of those poorer black people that were continuing to live there no longer had a pharmacy in their neighborhood, right? The pharmacy goes away. Okay, so they no longer have access to a pharmacy. So now they have to travel outside of an area, and there are fewer buses going in and out, right?
Because there are few exits.
Yep, and there are fewer exits, and there's not as much infrastructure being spent on it. And so the whole place winds up like going from looking identically economically identical to the neighborhood just south of the freeway, right? To one side having $1 million houses, and the other side having places without roofs.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's something you see time and again with, especially with freeways that go through cities. They bifurcate the city, and you end up with a rich side and a poor side, and then they end up racially segregated.
Exactly.
And then that's so like, and then you start dismantling, because you've got these freeways. You start encouraging auto traffic instead of public transit, so you end up destroying your public transit system. Like, it's all just white supremacy hurting everybody who's not already rich.
Exactly, because you still have white people that are going to live in these places. They're getting fucked, right? On top of that, the lack of investment means that, look, if you are a person of color or a white person who wants to invest in that area, it's going to be more difficult. It's going to be more expensive.
You're not going
Why
to be,
would you?
You're not going to be allowed to invest there because it's considered a bad risk.
Yeah, and if like more houses pop open over there, you're going to have fewer white people that want to live there either, because again, it's
the
not
bad part of town.
And then you do have the problem that all of us eventually want to fix this shit, because even Donald Trump is on the news talking about how bad all the cities are, right?
Right.
Everybody wants it fixed. Once you let it get to blight and disrepair, it costs more to fix it.
Right.
It costs more to get it back up.
It is much easier to maintain than to repair.
Yeah. And so you have all of these decades of stagnation. Now, with all that stagnation, you have all of the people that live there not having the incomes to fully participate in the market economy that we so beloved in this country, right? Like, so you're denying them market access at their full capacity. Because they don't have means to make money or leave or travel in the same ways.
And when you do start trying to fix the problems, you end up with a situation where white supremacy has convinced huge swaths of the population who would benefit from those improvements that they should not make those improvements because those people will benefit too, and fuck them.
Right? And the fucking crazy part is, like, one of my most, like, what you could consider quasi right wing, it's more of just a classic liberal marketarian view, is that the more access every individual has equally within the market, the better the market is for all, right? All of us having equal power as consumers within the market, right? Like, benefits.
It certainly makes for a stronger market.
Yes.
And a more egalitarian market.
And it creates more opportunities. It creates more new jobs. It creates more new startups, new restaurants, new bars.
It helps limit monopolization.
Yes.
Because you don't have one dominant economic power that can come in and just crush everything else.
Exactly. And here's the thing, man. Like, the poor white people who are working and shopping at Walmart and giving Walmart their food stamp money because they didn't make enough working at Walmart to buy the groceries they need from Walmart, right? Are held down by this system of economic supremacy,
You look at
white
Walmart.
supremacy.
Walmart is goddamn near a company store.
Yes.
Because you look at if you work at Walmart, you can only afford to shop at Walmart.
Right?
And you are honestly slowly being priced out of shopping there.
And subsidized to do so by the federal government through food stamps and, like, housing assistance.
Yeah, the fact that, like, Walmart, when it hires you, shows you how to fill out the paperwork to apply for Medicaid.
Yeah. And SNAP benefits,
SNAP
too.
benefits.
Like,
It's wild. And Walmart is a job where, like, starting pay is like $15 an hour.
Right.
And still, they'll only give you 20 hours a week, so they don't have to give you full-time benefits. But
And I'm not even saying the company's evil. It's just doing what the system allows it to do.
Yeah.
But the white supremacy behind it all holds everything back. And now you've got this like we live in this world where there's like there's two races, white and political, right? And you go, why do we need representation and diversity? Well, because it hasn't existed before, right? If you it hurts us culturally, it hurts us in the arts, and the econ just bothers the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Because like I am sick and tired of looking around the world and going, man, like there aren't enough people who have access to food and housing and clothing, right? I'm also sick and tired of when I look on the street and like a sketchy looking homeless person is walking by, like their odds of being black is higher than average, right?
Yeah.
I don't like that because it's like, and I'm not saying that I don't like seeing black people. I'm saying I don't like that we have created a system where, man, that is happening to so many black men.
They are more likely to be that homeless person.
Yes.
Because of the situation we've created.
And we have created all of this, and now we're doing it with immigrants, right?
Yeah.
Which your prices, ladies and gentlemen, like Donald Trump's policies are racism. Stop pretending it's otherwise. This whole they did it legally thing, who fucking cares?
Especially
right?
when like we're arresting people and detaining them at their fucking immigration hearings as they go through the legal process.
Yes. And
Like
Trump
that's-
is floating a set of policies that would favor white immigration from Europe and disfavor immigration from elsewhere. Let's be real. It's race.
It's just racism.
It's just race.
That's it.
And so, our fucking crops are rotting in the fields. Our beef prices are going up. Our soy can't be fucking sold.
Right.
Right? Like, what are we doing? Like, what are you doing? Has it helped your pocket? Fuck no, it hasn't. Like, as a business owner, it's fucking me. I'm tired of it.
But you will allow white supremacist thought to convince you that it's like this is temporary pain that we have to go through before things become awesome. Like I saw some fucking cattle rancher talking about how it's like, well, it hurts now, but like since the soy market's collapsed, that means we're going to be able to feed our cattle so much cheaper in like 8 months.
Or a year or two because barley is going to, because people are going to be making barley again. And like, oh, fuck. Oh my God, you idiot.
You live in a goddamn dream world.
Yeah. Also, how many of you ranchers are going to survive a year or two?
Yeah. Can you just float yourself for the next 2 seasons?
Yeah. While
Not selling anything, but still having all of your costs associated with running a ranch.
Yeah,
it's not cheap to run a ranch.
While other farmers realize that, oh man, I need to grow barley again so that I can sell it for cattle feed.
While we import beef with hoof and mouth disease from Argentina.
While bailing Argentina out.
To the tune of $40 fucking billion. With no fucking debate about it. We're just giving them that money. Because you know what? When our white supremacist elites know that when things collapse and they don't get to be in power here anymore, they know where they can run away to.
Argentina.
The place those people always fucking run away to.
Like, there is some poetry to the fact that we are bailing Argentina out right now.
There's a reason there are so many German surnames in Argentina.
Yeah. There's a poetry there. Fucking... Mark Twain, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes.
We know where Baron Trump's fiefdom will be in 15 years.
How dare he name that kid Baron, by the way? Like, no, I've got a friend named Baron. I feel bad about saying that.
Well, I mean, he named his son after his fake publicist that he created when he would call reporters to talk about how awesome he was.
Yes.
In the third person.
I forgot about that guy. Oh my God.
John Barron. John Barron. He named his child after his fake publicist that he invented, so he could self-aggrandize himself to reporters.
So our isolationism is driving up prices on consumer electronics and other goods. Our anti-immigrant fucking attacks are reducing the amount of new restaurants that open and the amount of new opportunities for business deals around the world.
I want more good ethnic cuisine.
Yeah.
In this town, we don't have enough. A lot of what we have is fine. And
you know the other fun part about it is it's our tight immigration laws that we have had all of these years have kept an underclass of illegal immigrants that we have desperately needed and wanted, and we've been paying below market rate for.
We could easily create a system by which these folks could just migrate with the seasons.
Right.
With the because that's the thing. You go all down the whole West Coast in particular. Certain things are harvested at certain times a year, and then you just move north, and they harvest the next crop, and you harvest the next crop. We could just allow a system where people could just come and migrate and work, and then send that money home, like spend it in our economy while they're here, and then go home to their families where they mostly want to be.
Right, but the ones who want to stay, guess what? Great. If we take them out of the shadows, right? We get rid of this whole, like, perverse incentive for them to be here illegally, right?
Yeah.
And keep them as an underclass, which basically is the replacement for slavery. Because, fuck, when people go, well, before we had illegal immigrants, who worked all the jobs that they work now? And it's like...
That's not the gotcha you think it is, dude.
There's an answer to that question. It was black people, and mostly because of slavery and Jim Crow.
Man, you can tell there is a segment of MAGA that just really thought that if we get rid of all the migrants, the blacks will go back to the fields where they belong.
I bet that's probably the case.
And I'll say this. I will always hate MAGA.
Right.
I will never stop hating MAGA. I would begrudgingly respect them just the tiniest bit more than I already do if they just admitted that's what it was.
If they said shit with their chest instead of pretended they didn't, that it's just kids in a text message where the group chats hit.
If they would all just start being like open Nazis instead of secret Nazis, I'd be like, whatever, you suck, you're terrible people, but at least you're honest about being fucking terrible. The way that they like...
No, they need to ease us. This is like anal sex, right? They know it.
Yeah.
Okay? They need the lube, and you've got to ease it in, right? You cannot just stick it in dry. Right? They're dripping they're dripping their racism and their fascism and their Nazism onto us like lube.
But I mean,
and slowly inserting it.
At least with anal sex, if you do it right, everybody has a good time.
Yes.
Like, now this is nobody has a good time.
That's true.
It's the nobody having a good... It's the anal sex of no one having a good time.
That is white supremacy.
That is white supremacy.
In a nutshell. The anal sex of nobody having a good time.
Yeah. Instead of everybody having a good time, everybody could have a good time.
Yeah,
we could all be having a good time. Instead, no one has a good time.
You let the underclass come out of the shadow and work legally, right? At our normal market rates.
Yeah.
Yes, they're competing against some poor white people. Sure, that happens, right?
Who mostly won't do the jobs. Or we wouldn't be having the problems with food rotting in the fields.
Now, and then guess what happens? Our prices tick up just a tiny bit.
Labor is such a small part of the costs.
Right. Now, business like mine is the highest, but that's because of the inverting nature of things, right?
But like in terms of like a manufacturing job or a farm labor job, like it's not the cost.
But the difference, like, it's the savings. They love the savings. Like, having people they can pay under the table with no benefits and no payroll taxes at fucking $11 an hour.
But, like, I remember...
fucking great, right?
I remember it was about 12, 13 years ago when there was a big push for Publix to start paying particularly the tomato pickers, like a penny more per pound.
Right.
Which like for the people working was huge.
Right.
Because that was like 40, 50 extra cents an hour.
Yeah.
But like is Publix going to like genuinely notice an extra penny per pound
instead of 98 cents a pound?
It's now 99 cents. Like no one would notice the difference.
Right.
No, they wouldn't. It would be a blip to consumers, and it would be a huge boon to the people doing the work.
Yes, and so that tiny fraction. So you bring them out of the shadows.
And then all of those people have extra money to spend in the economy. There's a multiplier effect
because
it's like. What is
they
it
can
like?
Buy tomatoes.
It's like what for like every dollar in SNAP benefits, you get like $1.78 in economic.
Exactly. $1.48. $1.48. The lowest economic multiplier is a tax cut.
Right.
You gain 3 to 5 cents of economic activity
for every dollar.
An additional 3 to 5 cents. You gain like 41 to 48 cents for SNAP benefits. Direct cash transfer. So like any program where they just give you money, right? You get 70 to 80 cents.
That's why,
because it multiplies.
That's why, despite the fact that it looks like on paper something like a UBI would be a huge cost,
yeah,
it generates so much economic activity
Right.
that it more than pays for itself. It generates revenue.
you just need to find the right tax mechanisms to do the initial pay-fors, right? That will also recoup.
Like, God, if we had
as
like a
money spent.
3% like total wealth tax above $500 million,
right,
like we could just pay for basically everything we want.
change cap gains and make it taxable like normal income
Yeah.
after. And you know what? You can even, because yes, the big fight is about retirees, right? So you can make a certain dollar number, like 50 or 100, right?
Yeah.
Like the first 50 or 100K is somewhere between 0 and 15% tax
Yeah.
in capital gains, right?
Yeah, you could even like lower the capital gains tax on that so that it was like more stimulative.
Yes.
To the
And then-
lower end
and
to
then-
encourage people who might not be able to afford to
Yeah.
invest to invest.
0% capital gains on the first 25K a year. Cool, right? But then
You
after
have so
that,
many more small investors.
yeah, after that, you start taxing it like it's normal fucking income.
Graduate it
Yeah, you do
up
it.
to like you're like your 40% range.
Yeah,
Like
right?
it's actual income. But like like you look
Tax
at,
the shit out of stock buybacks.
yeah,
Like, make these companies actually reinvest back into their people
like they used to.
like they used to. Instead, stop trying to paper it over with bad white supremacy because you can only squeeze temporary benefits out of it. Temporary. You can't squeeze long-term.
temporary small benefits,
Yeah.
like almost negligible benefits.
Exactly. Now, there is a good argument to be made that the United States became like an economic powerhouse in part because of slavery, but the population did poorly broadly
Yeah.
because of slavery
You had a
at
lot
the
of-
same
you
time.
had
So
a
the
lot of-
line go up.
You had a lot of wealth consolidation. It's how we ended up with the fucking Gilded Age after the Civil War.
Exactly.
Like it's why robber barons happened.
Right.
Like we had to invent the word robber baron.
yeah, we
We would
created
have had to do that otherwise.
Right.
Would have never happened.
And slavery was largely responsible for it because, yes, the United States became wealthy because we had these large cash crops, the financing of slavery and everything else.
We would have had those large cash crops without slavery. We still
Right.
would have had the crops. We still could have had the industry. We just would have industrialized sooner
yeah.
and mechanized it sooner.
And the South would have diversified its economics and, I don't know, like not even had to fight a civil war.
You wouldn't have
Gee,
you wouldn't
idiots.
have every goddamn southern state taking more from the federal government than they provide to it
Yeah.
in tax revenue,
Like,
which is the case now.
the fucking wild part about the South is that,
Mississippi,
like
Alabama,
like,
Arkansas.
when you think of the South, you've got like 10 or 15 of the coolest cities you ever go to, right?
Yeah.
And then
Amazing cities.
And then everything you think about the South, and it's worse.
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
That's
yeah.
what the South is
I
like.
don't- if
You've
you
got
had-
really cool cities, and everything about it is worse.
If you haven't been
Outside
to
of it.
like an impoverished part of the South, you
yeah.
can't actually understand
right?
what sort of poverty Americans live under.
Yeah, and I have been to some places.
Yeah, there are places like along 10, like if you're driving from like here to New Orleans, you're going through like Alabama and Mississippi. They're shacks.
Right.
They're towns of like literal ramshackle homes falling apart.
Yeah.
With like you could see the holes in the roofs, and they're
That are
like,
made out of old tin and rusting.
yeah,
like,
and
it's
and they're
bad.
like, and these are like homes that are like 500 square feet. Like,
Right.
you would normally consider them a tiny home. And it's got, you know, a fucking a propane stove that's leaky and probably going to explode and kill everyone inside, even if they're not cooking meth.
And white supremacy did that.
Yes.
It did it to the white people. It did it to the black people. It did it to the Mexican people living out there. It did it to the Hondurans. It's doing it to everyone. And it's making it so that your cities and your states can't function.
Seeing absolutely destitute white people in the South
Yeah.
just go out of their way to support policies that destroy their own economic interests solely because they have been convinced that white supremacy will benefit them is just It's heartbreaking.
It is.
It's heartbreaking. You see so much unnecessary suffering.
I get angry at the people who support it because at some point they have to take responsibility for themselves.
Yeah.
But they're also victims of a system.
Yeah.
And those two conflicts within my brain are like my daily struggle because
Yeah.
I want to hold you dumb fucks accountable for continuing to make the decisions that you should know better about by now.
But
right?
I also know we've created a situation where you aren't educated enough to know that's what you're doing.
Which is weird and galling to me because, again, we all have the internet. But I digress. But I know.
The internet.
I know, man. I fucking know
Man, it is a trip to think about like old Web 1.0. And it was just everybody who was on the internet was there to like learn and share and grow and
Oh, you sweet summer child that did not last.
no, because we created social media.
Yeah.
Which was the worst thing to happen to the internet was Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook.
Probably. You're not wrong.
He has singularly done more damage to humanity with that one innovation than possibly anyone in the 20th century did.
Between that and venture capitalists deciding that data in and of itself was
A commodity?
Commodity?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think those two things
Yeah.
really fucked us.
Yeah.
Which is always in service of a small select few that are always the same small select few that are always the same small select
Right.
few going all the way back to the fucking Romans.
Right.
Stop it, people.
Yeah.
Just, we have the power. There are more of us than them.
Mm-hmm.
We know what works and we know what doesn't.
Just fucking do it.
Fucking do it.
Every single solitary problem we have socially right now was an affirmative decision we made to have that problem.
Yes.
We said we wanted to have that problem. We picked that problem specifically and intentionally on purpose.
And we can choose easily.
To just not.
Just not.
We could just not.
So,
But you got to get out of your own way.
yes.
You have to be willing to get out of your own way. And that means you have to let go of the idea that racial superiority is a thing that exists, especially when races aren't real.
Exactly. And we talked about that one in a previous episode. So.
It's just not a real thing biologically. Doesn't exist.
Exactly. I think that's a good endpoint.
I think so too.
All right. This is the grift. Give us all your money so we can continue to fight the patriarchy and white supremacy.
Yeah, we're not like fucking moist critical here where it's like, oh, we've already become rich on the internet so we can nobly say, please keep your money for yourself. We don't.
No. Give us all your money.
Right. We are not him.
So, fight the power.
You're not giving him your money. Now give it to us. We will take your moist critical bucks.
We'll take it. All right.
All right.